Did you invest in any of the crypto coins that went parabolic?
Dude, I have some crazy stories around that. In the last bull run, when it started, we made and lost, but where we literally turned $5,000 into 250,000 in a week, and then it went down to zero in 2-3 days.
Was this like a
It happened
coin?
twice.
Was it
Yeah.
meme?
And I was always quite into sports, and I was always competitive, and I was a decent tennis player, so I actually gave it a shot. So I left the high school and went into a sports academy.
But then what happened? You didn't pursue it further?
I didn't make it. We work out a lot purely because it 100% allows us to work a lot harder on the business. I was really struggling with the lack of independence. All I ever crave is to be good at something, go deep in something. There's a lot of pleasure in going deep.
So far, how's the uptake been?
We are the fastest growing internet provider in the world. We're going faster than Starlink in Kenya, to give you an idea.
Have you been working out, by the way, when you travel?
So actually, that's exactly when I slack the most.
Yeah.
It's just that when you travel, you're not in the routine.
It throws it off. But
Yeah.
I remember the reason I'm asking is we were at the Links event together, and you were discussing what to do next after the event. You're like, no, I need to go and work out.
Yes.
Do you feel sluggish if you don't work out? Do you feel like, does your mood get very foul?
It doesn't get very foul, but you do notice it. That's the cool thing about working out. You tell people that like need to get started.
Yeah.
Once you get in the groove, it's, I mean,
There's such a difference. He can tell when I don't work out is I am
you're groggy.
dude, I'm like on edge with everyone. And then when I work out, it's like the demons are at bay. Everything is controlled. You're calm. But surprisingly, you feel more energetic. I've been wearing this Whoop, which, by the way, I think is not worth the investment. It's like $300 subscription.
I thought it was $300 up front,
Yeah.
but then it's like 100 per month.
No. $300 a yearly.
Okay, yearly.
Essentially, then you get a new band. It's a yearly subscription. But Google has, maybe we could put that up over here. Google has just, does Google own Fitbit?
Yeah, there's Fitbit, but there's been other alternatives before. There's other options other than that one. Amazfit have the Helio strap, which has been a thing for a while.
Right.
The reason people are excited about the Fitbit is Google has the money to fuck over Whoop.
Yeah, because Fitbit essentially was the most popular thing at one point in time when it came to tracking steps. You remember that walking and...
Yeah, for me though, always the OG of this, and it's who I still use.
Yeah.
Garmin. Mic drop. There you go.
But I'm surprised how expensive the Garmins are.
It's worth it. I'm a proud Garmin user. It's much more performance gear than that.
Right.
I think, for example, I've never used a Whoop, but I've had friends that interacted with the app in front of me. It's much more health oriented.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, let me just pull up my screen and I show you. So what happens is you have a recovery. You have a recovery aspect. And when I was not working out, essentially it takes a look at your heart rate variability, your heart zones, and so on and so forth, your steps. This is considered yellow because my sleep was less, but it tells you when peak recovery is there.
Did you, for example, what everyone tells you about Whoop is that it makes them very aware of the impact of alcohol on sleep.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You have one glass of wine,
It fucks it up.
and it'll fuck up your sleep.
And that another thing that happens is when you don't work out consistently, your recovery becomes worse and worse and worse. Even though there's no high impact, there's no high impact activity you're doing that affects your immune system. By you not using your body, essentially you just become weaker and weaker and weaker, and your recovery goes from yellow to red.
Whoa.
So there's a time when I was off. I mean, this is when you remember when we were initially talking about working out post injury.
I do remember.
Yeah. So it was always red, and then I started working out, and then you
Starts
realize
spiking up.
it starts spiking up. Then you feel more energetic.
I'm an optimist through and through, and I make a conscious decision of not looking at that. The Garmin, I do not use it to sleep for that reason. Because it's happened to me that I go, whoa, what a good night of sleep. And I wake up 62 score. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that.
it messes
I'm
with you.
feeling good.
Speaking of which, these guys work out like fucking crazy. They're marathon runners.
Marathon runner, yeah.
You did, what was the recent one you did?
I did Malaga in 2:53, 2 hours 53.
That was
including
42.
2:56, including a bathroom break.
Okay, and was that like 20? How many kilometers was that for the Usman?
40, well, I should know that, but 42.2, I believe. But yeah, that's...
Okay, because they're three boys. There's Louise, there's Jay. Who broke his leg?
Luis. Okay, so Jose.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Jose and Luis are my two co-founders, and they're brothers,
Yes.
like actual blood
And they
brothers.
They don't look alike. Maybe if you look very.
No, they don't.
You know who Luis looks? No. Wait.
Jose and I look alike. Funny enough, Jose and I get that we're brothers all the time.
That's what I first thought.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were brothers.
Always.
But Luis looks like Adrian, the guy from Entourage.
Oh my God, yeah.
Doesn't he look like him exactly?
Vince.
Vince. I was
He
like,
does. I mean, he has the curls.
yeah, exact doppelganger.
Jose and I both have debatable hairlines, and on the other end, he's the one like pitch black fit. But yeah,
But you guys, ever since I met you, the fitness has been part of the regime, and I think he had his knee injury as well, and he recovered from that.
ankle. He broke his ankle real bad, and in the same year he broke his ankle, he ran a marathon in 3:30. Beast, like insane.
Dude, these guys are next level. I'm telling you.
But I will say this: we work out a lot purely because it 100% allows us to work a lot harder on the business. And I don't want to sound unreasonably motivational, but when you speak about, for example, not working out, I don't get groggy, but tension starts building up. And for example, we're incredibly absorbed by what we do, and it's frankly, I dream about work. I dream about work-related things and topics. It's just the reality. I'm in the shower and I'm thinking about it, and that can be very positive thinking, but it can also be very nerve-inducing at times.
Yeah.
Yet, when every day you're jacking out 2 hours in the gym, you really
it helps you
diffuses
keep this acid
completely.
off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does. And it's also very good. You shift out of it. It's a very good mental break, because there's another good mental break out of it would be maybe playing video games.
Do you play video
No,
games?
I know. I used to as a kid, but in today's routine that I have, I can see how it's much of a healthier option for me to actually have my free time dedicated to working out.
It's either marathon running or going in GTA Vice City and beating a bunch of prostitutes with a baseball bat. So it's either those two things. But you didn't always start off as a marathon runner, man. You told me you built up to it, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the training that was involved?
Yes, I think everyone in this room, hand on fire, you can be much of a better runner than you think. It's all very much about the type of training you do and building into it. Like, you would be surprised. I know people that couldn't do 5 kilometers that become very, very, very strong marathon runners. By the way, in my case, for example, I was always somewhat of a runner. I was a big tennis player, so into aerobic sports. But I can speak, for example, for Jose, my co-founder. Terrible runner all his life. Terrible, but like even physical limitation with periosteitis. That's in Spanish. That's where your tendons around your tibia get very, very stiff after a run. It's a very painful thing. And he had that issue that was crippling. Like, he couldn't, for years, he's a fit guy, but he just couldn't run more than a couple kilometers. He tried implants, everything. And then he just said, I'm going to get on a plan. After he broke his leg, I'm going to get on a plan. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to go gradually. I'm going to go through the pain. And now he's running nonstop.
That's amazing. But what for example, for someone who doesn't run at all, and your target is like 5,000 steps a day, how do you go from that to running 42 kilometers in a year?
Definitely not 42 kilometers in a day. In
No,
a
sorry,
year,
like,
you're
no,
around thousands.
I mean, what I mean is 42 kilometers, like at the end of the year, you're able to do that.
It's first of all, walking and running not the same, of course, unless you really struggle with where at first you need to start walking, because if not, it's going to be tough. But then the training is different than you think. It's all a matter of volume, weekly volume, not even daily. Think of it in weeks is the best way to digest it, because within the weeks you cycle in the recovery and the peak loads.
Right.
You gotta run. Walking at some point is not gonna cut it, because the mechanics are different and the engagement of the muscle is different. So you start. The slow, long run is the most impactful run for every runner, and you probably hear about it. It's called zone 2 running, where you try and stay as long as you can in zone 2. And it's counterintuitive, but that's actually where you really build efficiency in your motion. But even in, now I'm diving deeper than my knowledge base, but apparently in like efficiency and the way your body consumes energy is a very real thing. Because if you look at like these Kenyan marathon runners, how many calories they burn in a marathon running it at 2 hours and 2 minutes versus me in 2 hours and 53 minutes, I am maybe burning 5 times the amount of calories on them.
Because you're less efficient.
I'm less efficient. They're incredible. I mean, even their bodies are like Ferraris for
What
running.
what do they run per kilometer? What speeds are they doing?
They're doing it, I think, well below 3, but like 2:30. I mean, we can do simple math, but somebody just broke the record of 2 hours. So,
I mean, that's insane. Like,
it's
and they're running for 2
ballistic.
hours.
It's ballistic.
Do you think anything to do with where you're born matters because of altitude and oxygen and
think
blood
so.
levels?
By the way, yeah, I think it just falls in the bucket of talent. I'm a general believer in talent.
Yeah.
That being a thing.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
for sure. By the way, why would I say that? Also, the fact that of the past marathon champions, 70% are from one town in Kenya.
It's weird.
It's clearly there's some micro.
Very high altitude, and Ethiopian runners as well. They come from very high altitude areas.
Yes, and there's Ugandan runners are also quite good. Like, okay, so as a foreigner that moved to Kenya, who was somewhat of a runner, so you think Kenya, everyone might be running, everyone must be running. No one runs in Kenya.
No one fucking runs in
No
Kenya.
one runs in
No
Kenya.
one runs in Kenya.
Except for this one tribe,
Yeah.
the Kalenjin tribe,
Yes.
that they're just
What is it?
gazelles.
What is the town called? Iten or something? Iten.
Then
Bro. There was sports tourism has become a really big aspect of growth in Kenya, and what American, global, European, different countries basically essentially come to Iten, and they spend like 4 months with each other.
it's a tourist attraction now.
And they are shocked at the level of training and speed that these guys are able to achieve. Huh?
And the volume, especially
volume.
once you become more of a runner. Like I'll tell you, for example, I was peaking in my training for the last time that I did. I think slightly 85 kilometers per week. 85, I maybe touched 90 once. Okay. These guys, I think, do 200, 250 kilometers per week.
Jesus.
Also, in order to do that, you got to do doubles. So you run in the morning and in the evening as well. And by the way, again, going back to how the mechanics of training and the times are counterintuitive. Not actually counterintuitive, but they hinge so much on volume. If I look now, I ran a 256. My goal now is running sub 250 this year. I know that the main difference is simply going to be volume. My peak weeks are likely going to be closer to 100 kilometers. That's it. That's going to be the main. And probably I have to shed off some weight.
How would you structure that in a week? How?
You do. So the marathon training is tailored to you get to marathon day, the day peak.
Yes.
Like that's it should be calculated like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an actual art that you start. So at the beginning, for example, you do a lot of strength training. By the way, underbody, leg, a lot of I do so much. We do so much. I'm in the gym 3 times a day, and I never do anything upper body ever.
So you're doing squats, lunges.
Yeah, a lot of functional stuff. Squat, but a lot of mobility exercises, reinforcing also when you're running, you're only engaging the leg in one motion. You want to compensate that. That's very important. So you do 3 times a week when you're building up, and then you do 4 days or 3 days of running.
But that's a lot of. If you're doing 100 kilometers and it's over 3 days, you're trying to do 30 kilometers.
No, but see, when it's 100 kilometers, you might even go down to 1 day of strength training, maybe 2.
Okay.
You need to optimize for the run.
So actually, which makes sense because runners are more. It's not endomorphic. There's mesomorphic and there's ectomorphic.
Yeah, but I
Ectomorphic.
don't know which one it is.
There's the skinny fucks basically.
Yeah.
So you have to become incredibly. You have to shed off weight then.
Yeah.
In order to achieve that kind of speed.
Yeah,
and
no, for
distance and
sure,
duration.
for sure. You just did it.
But do you track nutrition wise?
No. By the way, I know that if I start running 100 kilometers a week, I cannot keep up with the eating.
Yeah,
you're gonna start losing weight.
So I want to backtrack now. We sort of got off tangent, but Omar and I actually met on Instagram.
Yeah.
Random. That's why I fucking love social media. I noticed them doing an advert at the time for this new connectivity company called Share. And someone forwarded it to me, and you were talking about building up a network in Mombasa. I'm like, dude, I have a data center in Mombasa.
Right.
And I messaged you, and dude, we just connected, and the next thing you know, you guys are part of the Kenyan ecosystem.
We're in every colo data center in Kenya now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it just started over a fucking Instagram message. So if anyone from digital is watching this and wants to give me a promotion.
Credit. No, by the way.
But before we get to the connectivity business and how you guys landed in Kenya, I sort of want to go on a trajectory of your early days. You're from Barcelona.
Half from Barcelona. So
How do you pronounce it? What's the correct pronunciation?
in Barcelona, Barcelona.
Barcelona. Say it. I want to hear you fucking say it.
Barcelona.
All right. Collins, check.
Barcelona.
Was he? So we're
By the
basically
way, it
natives.
sounds like what's the singer?
Which one? Yeah, just Collins. Collins, we're talking.
Barry. Is it? No, not Barry Gibson. That's the guy from the Bee Gees. The guy goes, whoa.
Ever say something? You know, ladies are watching this as well.
That's in Barcelona.
I don't know if it's the headphones, but this is incredible.
Incredible deep voice. Huh? Or are you just doing that on purpose because you had a very soft voice just like 20 minutes ago?
He sounded like this. Yeah. No, okay.
So you started off in Barcelona.
Yeah.
You eventually did a stint in US.
No. So I didn't start off in Barcelona. My mother's from Barcelona. My father is from Italy. Brescia, which is a small city, 2 hours away from Milan.
So you speak Italy as well?
Yeah, I'm Italian. I would say I'm half and half, but I was born in Italy.
Okay, so the expressions, because whenever we talk, I love the fact that you know, Sajid, no, this is cross connect. Like it's always that emotion. That's the Italian side, possibly, or it's a combination of both.
I think Italians have a good reputation for a very valid reputation for being animated, and it's 100% true. But yeah, I mean, for sure, it's Italian in me, but also Spanish. These are romantic languages. It's that.
We need to learn those languages.
So it's. I think both of them are. By the way, Spanish people are also quite animated, I would say.
What's an did you guys learn Spanish? I did French and I sucked at it.
I played GTA, so I can curse.
Like what? Mafafa fanculo is Italian, right?
You've added there some syllables.
What is it?
Vaffanculo. Vaffanculo. You said mafafa.
That's not, yeah.
Vaffanculo.
Vaffanculo.
Yeah, it's like,
right.
go fuck yourself.
Vaffanculo.
It's funny how the first thing you learn about a language
is always the
a bad
negative
word.
Well, yeah. In Kenya, it's jambo and matako, right?
Yeah, my first thing in Swahili was mimi naenda.
Mimi naenda. I'm leaving.
To the no, like to the Bora driver, which where the motorbikes here. That's like who I engage with every day.
Yeah.
Mimi naenda
Westlands.
to the office. Mimi naenda Westlands.
Okay.
So that was it. And the second was namba yako nipi.
What's another popular thing you can teach us?
In Italian?
Yeah, Italian.
I mean, we got to start. Do you know how to say data center?
No.
Centro
di dati.
Centro, which is, by the way, it's a word-by-word translation.
Centro di dati.
Io lavoro
in
un centro di dati.
Centro di dati.
I work in a data center.
I work in a data. Hey. Fucking Italian.
Now say the whole thing on your own.
Yeah, listen, I'll have to rewatch it. Right, so Italian and basically Spanish parents. That's a lovely mix, bro.
No, it's great.
Now,
good food.
But you grew up. Where did you grow up exactly?
So that's where it's a bit of an odyssey.
Okay.
To give you an idea, until I turned about 24, the longest place I lived anywhere was 4 years.
So you were constantly moving.
Constantly moving. So to the extent that I don't know how reliable I am in the recollection of it, because a lot of it happened when I was quite young. So like my parents should be here to verify some of this. But born in Brescia, early on, when I spent some time in Barcelona when I was very young, have memories of it. We then bounced between those two cities for a couple of years in my very early youth. Then we went from Brescia, we moved to Sardinia. Sardinia is a beautiful island in Italy.
Okay.
So you probably heard of Sicily?
Yes.
Sardinia is like Sicily. It's closer to France and Spain, right underneath Corsica, which is a French island in the Mediterranean. Beautiful, beautiful place. Which, by the way, absolutely try to go there on holiday. Like, actually, luxurious and lavish, beautiful beaches. Spent there, did most of my elementary in Cagliari. From there, did another year in Barcelona. From Barcelona, then moved to Turin in Italy.
Wow.
All of these moves were also because of my father's job. My mother's a painter. She's an artist.
Okay.
And my father works in a football manager.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
like you would travel around with the football team, or from club
well,
to
yeah,
club?
the nature of also, even in football fans here, is you get also fired and you move a lot. In some cases for better opportunities, in cases because he had to change his job. But by the way, my father has lived his dream in that sense. So it was always like,
So football culture in Italy is quite big, right? So,
yeah, Italy, Spain.
and the leagues as well. They pay you decently enough for you to actually have a.
Sí, no, absolutely. I mean, I grew up via my father, middle, high class.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
and,
sure.
And so relocating all these places, how was that experience for you with friends and stuff? Because it must be difficult, right?
Yeah, but it in so many ways is what allows, and it's what I have in common with my two co-founders and my two best friends. But it's what has set us up to be able to do this, and then I'm sure we'll get into the story. But it's all I've known as well. It's all I've ever known in that sense. So the only one move that really bugged me, I remember that it was, whoa, this is a tough one, because by the way, in the story, I'm now still finishing middle school, and I moved to Turin. I did the 3 years, 2 years and a half in Turin, which is a gorgeous city in North Italy. Used to be the capital before Rome, one of the
Okay.
most underrated, I think, cities in Italy. Fiat is from there, so like a big economic center. But from there, I spent 3 years, and in those 3 years, I started getting some sense of independence. I also think in Italy, people, socially speaking, they get independence quickly. Then it takes them a long time to move out of their parents' home. But they get independence. You start going to the bar after school. Kids start smoking cigarettes at 13.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so you start getting that sense of social life and independence. And I remember my mother told me one day, we're moving to Paraguay in South America.
Whoa.
And I was like, wait a second. From what are we talking about?
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't, I don't even remember, I didn't put much of a fight. I mean, by the way, it's not, my parents didn't present it to me like, what do you think?
What do you think? It was just
Like,
like, we're going
we're-
back your
we're going.
bags. So is it dad that caused that move to go for work, employment?
Yeah, so my father did, looking back at it, I think I admire him a lot, also like a ballsy decision. My father had a successful career in his dream job, being a sporting director. Okay, so sporting director is that in the team who really operates in the transfer. He's almost like a CEO on the sporting side of things.
Okay.
And he had a great career out of that. At that point in his life, he really, really had a dream of coaching. And the way licensing works and the professional dynamics there, if you're a licensed sporting director in these leagues, in Italy, you cannot also be a coach unless you go to some markets such as South America and become a coach there. And then you can come back as a coach. So my father, looking at it with two big balls, said, I'm taking my family to Paraguay, where I found a coaching job.
That requires balls, especially when you've been placed in a certain location and
Completely.
you've grown up doing a certain career.
Completely.
But in order for you to progress, most people will be like, I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I can just grow in this path. He was like, no, fuck it. I'm going to go there, get that, and come back.
No, get that. And not just that. He was the sporting manager of a first division team in Serie A.
Ooh.
And he went to be the coach of a youth team, not even of the main team, of a first division team in Paraguay.
Really?
So I think I really dove head first in. And even crazier, I think, and absurd is my mom. And let's do it. And you're working, like you're chasing big, because also now there's more moves within this. And really my mother taking a lot of ownership there. Of myself and my sister.
How was the move to Paraguay for you?
It was long actually. So we first went to Argentina.
Let me put for you the water.
Say it's been
while
here
you
for-
can tell your story.
We first went to Argentina. We stayed there for a little bit because we were getting prepared. I'm looking back at, I think, paperwork, visas. I'm not even sure. Then we moved to Paraguay. And Paraguay, in many ways, South America is similar to a lot of parts of Africa. It is a third world country.
It is.
Like I'm coming from Turin, Italy, which is
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's a completely
But
different step.
exactly. It was very different also in many ways. It was isolating. It was, I think, the first time in my life that I was, whoa, it was a social reset that I felt that way. I was like,
Language-wise, do they speak a different language?
no, so they speak Spanish. And I grew up speaking Spanish because of my mother.
Yeah.
So I've always spoken the two languages, but with a very, very, very different accent. Actually, they speak Spanish and they don't roll their R. very much. That's like a distinctive thing about the Paraguayan accent, and I couldn't understand them very well. Yeah, because also, by the way, the diaspora of Spanish-speaking languages is massive. The diversity in accents is huge in some places.
It's like if you think about it, like the Kenyan accent. There's so many different Kenyan accents.
Right.
Where it's English as well, but if you're from Kisumu, there's a different, unique tone to the Kisumu English
100%.
versus the Nairobi English. What are those guys called? You know, "Wait, Brayo, niaje, let's go get some Tuskas, you guy. You know, we go Vasha, you guy."
What is that?
That's a particular.
Which one is that?
Yeah, that's a particular. It sounds like Collins Kidogo, right?
They're called Cheers Baba guys.
Cheers, Baba. Cheers, Baba. Those are so there's a certain, I don't know where it came from, but it's a very happy-go-lucky Kenyan type. Yo, Friday night, mana, we're gonna go and get some Tuskas, you guy. Yeah, we go those sides of Vasha.
So is this tension part of it?
So it's very weirdly spoken, but in relation to what you do it's, I guess Spanish also has that. We don't think about it because we don't speak Spanish.
But
yeah.
every language has
Every
that.
language has
Even in
that,
the
yeah,
US,
yeah.
somebody from Texas
Sounds
very different
incredibly
from somebody
different, yeah. Exactly, the dialects as
from
well.
California.
Red one, fucking blue.
But and I would say even more because take the same language and spread it across different continents. So
It's
the
division.
variability is even bigger.
Can you imagine a world where we all spoke one language without
mean,
accent?
With that accent, it would be boring.
You think?
I
but,
think it's kind of cool.
But there would be. Do you think there'd be wars though? I don't think. Apparently, language was the main divider, right? The fact that you speak a different language.
For me personally, from my experiences traveling, language has a lot to do with it, but it's more of the cultural heritage of which language plays a big part.
Yeah,
But there's more to that.
If you look at, I mean, definitely there's a lot more nuances. If you look at East Africa, for example, Ethiopia as well, they're a bit more united. There's a lot of, maybe there's intricacies within that particular culture, but for the most part, they speak a common language. If you look at Tanzania as well, I don't think Tanzania has, beyond Swahili, sub-dialects within
Oh,
their
really?
sphere.
Not even within
I don't
like
think so.
subdialects of Swahili?
Because the patriotic level of a Tanzanian individual is much higher. Because they all speak that sing-songy Kiswahili, the Sukari type song. I could be wrong anyway.
Well, but generally, even Italy, for example, Italy has massive. Spain too, for example. I'm from Barcelona, which I don't know, you might be aware, but Catalonia, for example, has a massive linguistic heritage with Catalan. It's actually like a very centric, very centric dynamic of Catalonia. Catalonia is a region in Spain, and public school in Catalonia is in Catalan, not in Spanish.
Really?
It's the only place in Spain where you do this.
See, you learn
It's in the
something
region.
new every day on the podcast, man.
So and Italy is the same way. What I'm trying to get to here is every state in Italy has a dialect. Now what's happening, and I think it's happening everywhere, dialects are dying. My grandparents spoke their dialect very well. My father understands dialect very well. Some parts of Italy, for example, the southern parts have kept the dialect more alive. But globalization. There's not much good use of a dialect nowadays.
It's changing eventually. That's what they're saying. Another tone is we'll all eventually be like 0.5 colors. You know, the caramel, light skin.
Yeah, you can mix
It's like after 50 years, everyone will be that shade because of all the intermarriages. So back to your story, Omar. You're now in Paraguay. Culture shock has hit you. You're a teen, adapting. From there,
it was a short stint for me in Paraguay. At the end of the day, it was just about a year. I was also that age where I was heading into my final years of high school. And this is where now the protagonist of the story, my mother, comes in. I think she makes a really good decision, which is you're about to go into, I guess, the next level of education and really shaping a professional life and just being in adulthood. And she made the decision of taking my sister and I, of course, with my dad, to Florida. To actually, what started off as a trip in Florida became 12 years in the US.
wow.
Yeah. And
was the decision made after visiting Florida? You're like, your parents were like,
oh,
this
yeah.
is where it is.
I mean, look, we didn't even have the paperwork in place. Like we actually stayed in the US under tough circumstances at first in terms of immigration status. but it just everything was falling into place because I was able to go to school there. I was able to start getting good education. Of course, the US is fantastic with this this highway from high school into college. Also, it's very exciting, and you start feeling it. And it was the perfect decision looking back at it. But at that point, and it's happened also many times that my father goes somewhere to work and we stay here. Even in the moves that I talked about within Europe, between all of those moves, there was a point where he was working in England.
Really?
Yeah.
Dad was all over the place, eh?
All over. Right now, my father's in Romania.
Really? Dad's still
He's
going
working
out?
in Romania.
That's what's he doing right now? Is he still?
He's the sporting director of Bucharest, of like FC Rapid.
Go Dad.
Yeah.
Ah, that's amazing. So how's the culture shock in the States for you? Was it a smooth landing?
No, dude, that was a big one. I was a massive High School Musical kid. I remember like the movie when it came out. Like I remember the first haircut I ever asked for was a Troy Bolton haircut.
Put up Troy Bolton on the screen.
But right now it's very far distant from it. And of course that was high school in the US. That's lockers. People have lockers. You teachers don't come to your class. You go to the teacher's class. That's a massive thing
which
too.
is weird. Yeah,
Very
because normally
weird.
you have a dedicated class.
Completely.
That's what it was for the year you stay in this class.
Isn't
before
Kenya
you
the
go.
same?
It's the same.
Yeah. No, it's and in every class you change too. You change classmates.
Not everyone. Like IGCSE, after grade 8, we changed. We now start moving around. You don't sit in the same class.
Which fucking IGCSE class?
Yes, Arya. After 8th grade, you start moving around. There's a history class. There's a physics class.
Collins, back me up. You stay in a class. So no. What I mean is, class 1 you're in a certain class.
Yes.
Class 2 you're in a certain class for the year.
Yes.
When you're in Form 1, this is your Form 1 class for the rest of the year. You're not going to different places for subjects. Some subjects, the French teacher, music teacher, you would go to their places, but your desk and your books would stay in this desk in this class. Correct. That's why Collins is nodding for the qualified.
You went it for 4 IGCSE.
I did it for 4.
IGCSE.
Saints was 844 in IGCSE.
Us IGCSE. We
But
moved
what
around.
Omar is saying is that in States, not only do you
move.
have a locker, but you've got different classes. So chemistry is here, chemistry is there.
Of course,
And you
that's
change.
the point of the locker. You move so much that your home base is
home
your
base
locker,
is your locker.
not a classroom.
Yeah.
As we had your class, but you went for history lesson, you went there. Maths, you went there. Chemistry, you went there. Physics, you went to the physics lab. Chemistry, you used to go chemistry lab.
Okay, so now that you mentioned that, we had physics and chemistry taking place in different labs and biology.
That
and stuff,
one, that
But you
one
have a
would
home base.
sometimes happen where you have a lab class. So you
Yeah,
go to the lab,
yeah.
but your whole class goes to the lab at that specific time.
Right.
Like
right.
for the year, the 27 students in my class were my classmates. Is that's the same for
That's
you?
the same for us, yeah.
Yeah, in the US, it's like university, which is it's like
You
course
keep
driven.
Course driven.
Yeah, of course. In high school, and now also I didn't spend that much time in US high school because there's also now a story pivot here that's coming up. But you don't get to choose your classes. But I do know, for example, when I came in, I wasn't a very proficient English speaker. So public schools in the US have a English as a second language type of curriculum and support, where instead of going to British literature AP, you go and like learn to speak English first.
Okay, so you didn't speak English then? Up
Very
to that
little.
point?
No, a little bit, because I was fortunate enough to be able to go to some international schools generally in Turin
Yeah.
for a couple of years.
So you picked it up in a way.
Yeah, I was able to pick it up. Also, generally, I'm quite social, so I just.
Yeah,
But-
I've seen that.
But I, to give you the culture shock, I still remember, like, US, because also I didn't go to Florida, Miami right away. I went to Naples, Florida, which is.
Where is that?
So Florida is a peninsula, and Miami, but most of Florida is like a swamp. To it actually, like that's the actual terrain. Miami is on the east coast,
On the East Coast, yeah.
and on the literally the other side. Take a rule and kind of go
It's
straight
more
across.
rural. It's like.
Well, actually, Naples in particular, I ended up there for some random reasons because that's where we had some acquaintances, and going to US, we said, let's go there. At least we have some reference points. It's Naples is a weird one because it's a very the average age in Naples, I think it's 75 and above. And mostly it's what you call winter birds, which is the wealthy older Americans in upstate, in upcountry. So Chicago, New York, or anywhere else really that might be cold in the winter. They come down to Florida.
like their holiday homes.
Yeah, but,
Or as a
but given the age, of course,
retirement,
given,
yeah.
So, for example, Naples, given this dynamic, and I'm not much of a golfer, but apparently has some of the great golf
And
courses.
Florida is very, very popular amongst the older generation when it comes to retirement. Is it because of tax reasons? Is
Yeah.
there something?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no state tax.
Fucking hell.
There's no state income tax.
Shout out Florida. So, and by the way, I'm basing this all on GTA 6 as well.
Yeah, kind of a
That's-
interesting vehicle for tax
Yeah.
legislation in the US.
Because Miami sides is on the map, the illegal maps that were leaked out. You see it's on this side, and then you've got the southern side, which is where all the gator guys are. You know, and the
Yeah.
what do you call the vehicles that you go across swamps on with
Ooh,
the motorboats?
yeah. Oh my God, I'm blanking.
We can put that up on the screen right now.
They have the massive fan in the back,
That's the one.
and they can go across the rain.
Yeah, and then you like go hunting for
Actually, don't know what
alligators
they're
and
called.
stuff.
Yeah, I did that a couple times.
Crawfish,
Yeah.
right? That's
Crawfish,
a
yeah.
bit the southern side.
Alligators are all over.
Alligators. Can we? What is it called?
A swamp motorboat.
Can we put?
Wow.
That
Wow.
was in our face. Can we put that up over here? Swamp motorboat. Okay, and then further up now towards the west is where you have these golf courses and these high-end suburbs.
in this area, in this particular city.
So
that I was
GTA
in.
6 is going to be accurate then.
GTA 6, but I'm hearing that they're doing like a pretty accurate replica of Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be massive.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Something about GTA.
By the way, if you want gaming servers, if share grows big enough, you know they can get dedicated gaming servers for us in Kenya.
What do you mean? If we already on it,
Yeah, that's what's up.
we're already peered. Best game. Best
So you're
game
gonna have like
latency.
3 people on.
And we'll talk about the pricing as well. There's a lot to get to into share. They're doing quite interesting things.
Yeah.
All right, back to the States. When was your first time in a strip club?
I've never been to a strip club actually.
Really?
Yeah,
That makes the four of us in this room.
Yeah, by the way, guys, I guess we gotta hit up the
local one over here.
Westlands, the Westlands strip club.
Forget Westlands. Let's go to the industrial area one. Right. So you're saying there was a pivot in the story coming up when you were in States. There was something that happened.
Yes. So I get there. I start high school. First day of high school, by the way, culture shock, informatics class. The friend next to me had an ankle bracelet because of drug offenses and violence, and I was like, I was actually quite interested by it. I was like, that's kind of cool. I was curious about it.
That's weird.
I still remember Robert Barnes. If you see this, I hope he's doing well.
We should get ankle bracelets in Kenya, dude. That would be sick, though.
How many people do you think? would have it?
Why?
Because we do have crazy criminal offender types, and we need to keep track of
We
them.
put
right?
them in committee. And we throw away the key.
No, you see, the thing is, if someone has a fight and someone gets injured, in the States, they put that on you just to make sure you know this is the next step before jail.
Yeah. Also, maybe you're in some sort of house arrest or
Yeah.
parole, so you can only go to school, you can go to work and home.
Yeah, what's
So
that?
they're tracking
What's that Shia LaBeouf movie where he was under house arrest?
Is that Disturbia? No,
Disturbia, is it
no,
Disturbia?
he was, no, the neighbor was on house arrest. No, he was on house arrest.
He was on house arrest.
and the neighbor was doing crazy
Shit.
stuff.
And yeah,
By the way,
exactly.
what a good movie, bro.
Let's put that up over here.
Funny enough, I saw a movie when I was living in Paraguay. You just brought up a
Really?
random memory. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so culture shock, obviously. It's
Culture shock. I remember also just the outfit. Whoa, I'm changing my wardrobe.
How was everyone's reaction to you? Were people
No,
curious?
it was. You are a little exotic because you're in Naples, Florida, and you're an Italian, Spanish guy. There's not many, so completely there's interest, but also like, sure, they're interested, but then connecting with people, that's you gotta figure that out. You absolutely have to,
Right.
because also the reality is, you want to make friends fast, but there's also reality is like a lot of the stuff they're doing, I just don't really care much about. Like, is that what kids here are on?
Right. It's I guess it's a different.
Yeah, I would say at
social
that
structure.
at that age level, I do feel like maturity tends to be a little higher. I think in Europe, just given like even the way the city is. Think about it. In Naples, if you go to like an average, not a main U.S. city, like maybe we talk Miami, New York, or L.A., where you get more of that which I'm about to describe, but there's not the cities are not very walkable. There's not a lot of free roaming interactions. Instead, in Italy, you leave when you're 13, you walk to school, or you get a bicycle to school, and maybe it's a 15-minute ride. But in that 15-minute ride, as you grow up, that's the best part of the day. Let's stop here. Let's go there.
So-
Maybe it takes you 4 home to get
Everything
4 hours
is,
to get home.
Yeah, everything is a walk away, right? It's a very
Right.
and that what drives the community aspect.
Completely.
In some cities, like if you go to Dubai,
Oh my god,
there's you can't walk anywhere,
Dude.
man.
Dubai is for
And-
me is a tough one.
Yeah, it's there was appeal to it, but whenever I go there, I like it less and less and less. It's just everything's big, grand. And I've described this on the podcast before. It feels like the trailers before a movie where it's just flashbang in your face.
It's highlights. A highlight reel.
It's a highlight.
It's only
reel.
the highlights.
It's a highlight.
And
reel.
one thing was surprising in Dubai, it's you have a very impressive development next to a hole or a ditch.
Yeah.
And for your cities in Europe are built out. They've been built
I'd
out.
love to visit Italy because I feel Italy
Oh,
still
it's gorgeous.
has that walking around, seeing the neighborhoods. And each neighborhood has a certain characteristic.
A lot of European countries.
Japan as well.
I've never been to Japan, but it seems like it.
Yeah, I'd love to go
It
to
seems
Japan.
like it. Well, I think any culture that predates to some sort of decent economic development at a certain point in
At
time,
point in time, yeah.
they were able to build cities where pedestrian was
Yeah.
the main mode of transportation.
So Forza Horizon 6 just got released, and
That's a video game?
it's a video
Forza,
game. It's
yeah.
based in Japan,
Oh wow.
and it got a 10 out of 10. Apparently, the recreation of Japan is really sick.
Japan is a place I would love to go. Never been.
Well,
Great food.
We open share up over there.
We do a little pop.
Right, you guys poached me from Icolo.
We do a little. we put you to manage the
Exactly,
the
Japanese-
cable landing station
in Kyoto.
in Kyoto. There you go. That's not a bad one.
Right, now tell me, States, how long were you there for?
Oh, States a long time. I want to say 13, 14 years.
Wow, so that was you didn't move after that.
Oh, within the US, I moved a bunch. So much. I get to Naples, Florida. I'm in high school, and I was a very avid tennis player. And in Naples, there was a very big tennis academy. And I was like, and I expressed to my parents that my dream would be to become a professional tennis player. And I was always quite into sports, and I was always competitive, and I was a decent tennis player. So I actually gave it a shot. So I left the high school and went into a sports academy where I would train every day, and school became a very secondary thing, to be quite honest. I would wake up at 6, 7 to 10 tennis, 7 to 10 tennis, then 10 to 4 school, 5 to 6 tennis, 6 to 7 gym. And that was I was trying to be
That
a
must have been
professional.
an amazing experience.
Oh, it was sick. It was incredible.
But then what happened? You didn't pursue it further?
I didn't make it. Yeah. Which was a great experience also to go through that when you're 17, 18.
Fairly at a very young age.
Very
You
like
rejected.
failing at your biggest dream, like realizing like, wait, I'm not gonna be a tennis player.
So who told you that you're not going to be a tennis player? Was
the
it just the
world.
competition?
The results. That's also the beauty of sport. Or,
As you see it right there. and-
yeah, I'm not winning enough. You know what?
And there were people that were just at a different level.
I mean, look, to give you an idea, right now the number 1 tennis player in the world is a Spaniard. Well, right now it's an Italian actually, as of today. But the 2 best players in the world right now are Italian and Spanish guy. The Spanish guy was number 1 in the world at 18. At 18.
So these guys grew up doing it, basically.
Yeah, but I also grew up doing it. It's like we talk about it. It's the point you think when you ask me, what do you think why these guys in Kenya are so fast? Yes, there's some social and biological, whatever package that is a mix of the.
Right, so, I mean, if we're going to frame the ingredients, there's a bit of where you grew up, what you did growing up. There's maybe influences, character influences. There's also discipline. And then the rest of it is God-given talent, which is like 80% of it
Or all of those things.
in combination.
All of those things are the God-given talent. It's like when you're building a FIFA player and you're just putting the right attributes. I don't know if there's a random like talent variable, because what makes a tennis player talented is very different than what makes a software developer talented,
That's true.
right? So it's that's how I think of it.
How did you take it, though, when they were telling you, sorry, son, get your bags packing?
No, it was a gradual thing, because it had. I always say this. I feel very fortunate, but I do not remember a single a period of my life where I wasn't chasing my dream. That's I've been very fortunate to have parents that have allowed me to do that, but also the attitude to do that. So in some flavor, I've always I've had gone through that. I was like in Turin, it's up in the Alps in Italy. I was a snowboarder. I was a very competitive snowboarder. I was a young snowboarder. I was amongst the best under 18 in Italy, and when I was only 12.
So you always chasing something.
Always, 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 over to this day.
So what did you pivot then from tennis?
Well, from tennis, theater.
What?
Remember?
No.
Yeah,
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 actually,
yeah.
yeah, we were talking about this.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, in specific, cinema. I got, but even there, I was never into cinema, and I guess I kind of had a bit of a moment of what do I do next. I like movies, and for whatever reason, I became very obsessed with that.
Favorite movies?
And then I proved There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson.
We were just looking at it. What's the actor's name? He's
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Danny Day-Lewis.
That's the greatest performance in
3 Oscars, right?
cinema. Yeah, one of the only men with 3 Oscars. Sean Penn now as well.
Your milkshake.
Ridiculous.
I won't put that scene up over here, but we might get blocked. We might get copyrighted.
For
But you,
Oh, yeah. Just look up Milkshake. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel
I will
Day-Lewis.
drink you.
Yeah, so
Great movie.
there's the one he did with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Gangs of New York.
Dude, that was sick.
That's a Scorsese film. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
But for me, that one too. Also, if you're the movie, it's about, in a way, it's from a book from Upton Sinclair, who's a very, very fascinating American novelist. He was actually a very young communist politician in the U.S., which is like an interesting place to be. I mean, if you look at the history of the U.S., and a great novelist, and most of his novels were some sort of critiques of capitalism. Then There Will Be Blood is a critique of greed and
Yes.
the cost of monetary and professional power in that sense. Because in a way, it's kind of a story of Rockefeller.
Which other movie stands out to you, or actor, or performances?
I mean, I've been DiCaprio. That definitely got me into cinema. I feel like because my especially when you were young, but he has the best discography, the best filmography, I think, of anyone. Like the consistency and the quality of films and the directors he's worked with.
Were you ever a fan of macho films like Die Hard, John McClane, Yippee-Ki-Yay, motherfucker?
Nowadays, those are my favorite types of movies.
Put Die Hard up on the screen.
Die Hard. I mean, shout out to Bruce Willis.
You know that movie was just, oh my! Have you guys watched it? Have you watched Die Hard 1? Oh my!
No,
God.
those movies I saw them with my grandfather. Always.
Wait. You haven't watched Die Hard 1?
Oh,
Collins, what the fuck?
No, but that's great. That's great. That's the best.
I'm so
You now
envious
get
of
to
you.
put him on. Exactly.
The fact that you get to experience this movie. Watch Die Hard 1. Die Hard 2 is okay. Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh man, there's just a lot of
Dude.
Die Hard. I don't know the filmography so well of Die Hard.
Those 3. Die Hard 4, 5. Die Hard 4 is not too bad, but give it a few years. What was the other one? Rush Hour 1. Have you watched that? Rush Hour 2? Of course you have. Because Chris Tucker was in it. Yeah, you racist guy. Which other one was there that stood out for me for film? Very young.
Kung Fu Panda.
Nah.
By the way, but those are like Toy Story.
Kelly's Heroes.
Talk
Have you ever watched that?
No, what is that?
This was Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
It's a story about this military regiment, okay? They're basically World War II-esque story. They have to break behind German lines. Now, as they're going towards the French towns, they discover a general had a hidden map.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the soldiers figures out that this map is for a bank that has gold.
Okay.
And so he puts together a unit that goes behind enemy line. And the motivation is to get that gold. Now, one of the funniest scenes in the movie is the American army are like, "Sir, I think there's a team that's broken behind the German lines." And he's like, "This is the kind of motivation we need. These are the kind of soldiers we need to support. These guys are just trying to get in and
By
get
the way,
out and get
I
soldiers."
feel him. That's where you need to motivate your team.
For anyone that hasn't watched it, Kelly's Heroes.
It's a Clint Eastwood directed movie, or
No,
he's an actor?
he's an actor
Also, it's
in
an
it.
old movie.
It's a very old movie.
Okay.
What was the actor in 24? What was his name? Donald Glover. Donald Glover's son.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover is the actor.
Yes.
Actually, sorry. What was the name of the son in 24?
The name of the son.
And maybe we can put up Kelly's Heroes over here.
The name of the son.
There was a series called 24, where
Yeah, but the series that I know recently in the US that was played by It's a white guy.
Donald
playing the main
Sutherland.
character.
No, sorry, Donald Glover is a black guy.
Yeah.
If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
so
He was
Donald-
in- he
Donald Glover
was in
was
lethal,
in
Lethal Weapon.
with Mel Gibson.
Well, Mel
Great
Gibson.
movie. That's a good one too.
Donald Sutherland.
Yes.
Kiefer Sutherland's
Yes.
father.
Sutherland. There you go.
Yeah, so he's like a hippie tank commander. I'm telling you, it just doesn't get better than that. Him and Clint Eastwood, that movie is something that just switch your mind off and go and watch it. It's brilliantly told. That was one of the
there's great
first
movies out there.
I used to watch that with my granddad growing up. That was one of the first movies that he exposed me to. Sorry, you were saying?
What about Tropic Thunder?
Oh, bro.
Oh, dude,
That's
Tropic Thunder is classic, but you can't do it right now. You try and do it, they'll go and cancel your business.
See, as I told you, there's that one, Hail Caesar, which is
I don't. Did you like? That's the Coen Brothers. That's a reason with George Clooney. He's in Hail Caesar. And
Hail Caesar's recent?
I mean,
George
by the way,
Clooney. Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
George Clooney. No, it's a
I've
Coen
been
Brothers
able to
movie.
watch it. I just want to watch
Where
it.
it's about an actor in Hollywood.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've been eating. Watch it. It
That's
is good.
Is it
Tell him it's
recent?
good.
Is it a recent film?
2000. I want to give it 2000. I'm gonna pull it out of my
Let's
ass.
put-
2012.
Can we put up Tropic Thunder if we haven't already? Hail Caesar and Kelly's Heroes if we haven't already.
And put There Will Be Blood.
And put
If I
fucking
mean,
There
you
Will
need
Be
to
Blood.
put that. It's
Like,
a heavy
put it up.
watch. That's not
Yeah,
like
it's not something I'd recommend.
That's
Just-
also the thing now.
you need
Now
to be
that I'm
nice.
I'm mostly absorbed with work.
yeah,
When I want to watch a movie, I'm not often in the mood for like,
something deep.
yeah, a massive thought piece. So that Mission Impossible.
Step
Put
Brothers.
that on. Step Brothers, something like that. But an action movie or, here's a good recommendation of like, also, specific shout out to current directors making very cool movies. I think they're also good to
Taking
point
the
out.
risk. Yeah.
Have you seen Weapons?
Why does that sound?
Because it's an insane movie that came out this year,
The horror movie.
bro.
I hated it.
No,
I hated it.
but
It
you
has-
hated it because it made you scared.
It
or-
had so many holes. We're talking about the horror one, right?
Which,
Yeah, but about the kids.
Yes, it had so many plot holes. Why is? Can I talk about
Can
it?
you put the mark so we can put our weapons over here? Well, tell me what.
Bro, so good.
Can I search it? Let me see weapons.
Can I talk? I don't know. Can I talk about? Okay, there's
By the way,
spoilers here.
potential spoilers coming. Or try to talk about it without spoilers.
No, we can't because I have to ask questions.
Yeah, because we don't want to spoil it for people if it's coming.
I have a friend group.
Weapons
We keep
movie.
going to watch like movies at the
Oh
theater.
wait! Weapons is the scary,
Disappearing kids.
disappearing kids. The one where there's like a scene where the gun is rotating.
That's what I want to ask him. What is that? Why is there an M4 in the sky?
It's just a play on Hollywood.
See, I'm forgetting about that scene. Maybe I just blocked it out.
Oh, no,
Remember that scene?
I think one of the guys sees a kid. He runs through the forest. No, he wakes up at night.
Yeah.
Here's his kid running. Runs through the park. Comes to the building. Thunder and M4 in the sky. A literal M4A1. Just
That's just the director getting a little artsy
Yeah.
for you.
and then also
It's
the
based on a horror book by.
Is it? I didn't know that.
the ending also. Oh my god! Well deserved, but like, wait, okay,
Isn't it
Yeah.
that?
No,
that
intense. I just found it so scary, but so fun. If it made like so surprising.
Yeah,
I don't think scary is the correct term.
well, it
Yes.
was a bit,
Yeah,
it was a bit freaky. I remember.
It was
Freaky,
freaky,
not scary.
Freaky, yeah, but I prefer that. I don't want the jump scare. Somebody's possessed. No, that's overplayed. That same director made another movie 4 years ago called Barbarian.
Yeah, that's what it recommended. Is that a good film?
Another crazy movie, bro. That this director is so fun. He's like making very cool horror thriller pieces. Barbarian talks about this lady that on a last minute business trip books an Airbnb in Detroit, which is a very rough city in the US, like especially I think like the suburbs. I don't know very well, but she makes a random Airbnb booking and she gets in the house is in this very sketchy of Detroit. She gets there and actually the house has been booked by another agency, so there's somebody in the house.
There are two people. in the
There are two
house.
people. And
The
from
dynamics.
from there crazy stuff happens, and it's kind of cliche in a very, but it's so well executed. I guess it's great.
I mean, that's the beauty about a film. The one thing I've realized is so there's benefits to Netflix in that it exposes you to different cultures and different directors' artistic takes on the world. Though there's also less risk being done because, again, I know Fazaz says we repeat the same topics over here, but I'm going to just talk about the film culture. In the past, you would have directors take more risk because they know that, okay, fine, maybe we won't make money in the box office, but we'll make it off DVD sales.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even say that's the director's taking risks. It's the studio.
It's the studios.
Yeah.
Now you would have basically the studios give the directors more
Yeah.
rope to do whatever they want. So there was more artistic film. There were crazier films. There were low budget comedy films. How many of you guys have watched this movie with Paul Rudd?
Blair Witch Project.
I haven't seen that. No.
No, that's a
crazy
good
one.
example for
That's
that.
a crazy one. That's a crazy one.
But
That's a
actually,
classic,
that's
modern
classic. Yeah. Which is what was the actor called in American Pie? Stifler.
Yeah, I don't know the name, the actor's
But
name.
there was a movie of him and Paul Rudd where they get arrested, and basically, in order to avoid going to jail, they have to do community service, and part of the community service is to take care of single parent children and be their guardians for the day. And it's just a fucking wild ride, bro.
It sounds like a comedy.
It is a comedy.
Okay.
It's a comedy. What's
Sorry,
what's it called? Could you just search Paul Rudd and American Pie guy while we go back to Omar's story?
Role models.
Role models.
I've
Put
heard
role
of it.
models up on the screen. I
Good.
swear. That is, switch your brain off from a long day of work. Fucking hilarious film. There's a little black kid, basically. He's the star of the show, man. And he's so vulgar. And he's so violent. But anyway, sorry, we pivoted, and that's why I love podcasts. Is we just go off on a tangent, like we
We're
just have a normal
meandering
conversation.
through my life
Now,
and cinema.
so you're back to cinema. What essentially happens?
So I kind of brought this point up. I have the realization that tennis is not going to be the thing for me, and I started applying for colleges. And I remember I was so convinced that I was going to be a professional tennis player that I didn't even apply to colleges. I thought I was going to go pro. And then I had to apply, but I was late for the cutoff, and I'm not going to waste a year not applying for college. I got accepted to a university in Miami called Florida International University. And so I moved there. The first semesters, I do it in the dorms. I move in the dorms.
How was the dorms?
Dude, insane experience. I had my roommate was a full-fledged drug addict. It was like an actual, it wasn't like an actual, by the way, it was problematic. Like I would come into 5 people knocked out in my room regularly.
And how was the room structure? 2 beds, 1 bathroom?
2 beds. No, 2 rooms with 2 beds, 1 bathroom was the one I was in. Then I'm
Okay.
sure if you pay more, you can do it.
But damn.
Oh yeah.
Also,
No, but I also loved it. First day of FIU, first class, I meet Jose, my co-founder now, in a calculus class.
How did you guys connect?
I was wearing this pattern T-shirt, and he was in line to speak to the professors. I'm walking out. He said, "Hey, nice T-shirt." I go, "Thank you." And we just, "Oh, you're Spanish." "Oh, I'm half Spanish." Boom, we had lunch together right then and there. His mother's a painter. Jose Luis's mother's a painter, Africa. By the way, interesting here, trivia fact. Jose's and Luis's mother's government name is Africa.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
Africa. Yeah. And that's been part of the appeal for
mysticism
Africa.
around
It's
coming to
been an
Africa.
element. But yeah, and they're both painters. We found that we were not living that far from, because at that my parents then had moved to Miami too, and they were not living that far from them. So yeah, we became best friends right away.
That's
Right
nice.
away.
And both of you, were you studying the same thing? Or
No, bro. I was studying.
You're
by the
doing
way,
film, right?
No. I was falling in love with film, and I was studying biomedical engineering. That's what the degree was. And Jose, I think, was studying international business. And
Smart man.
in the second semester, I told my parents I'm gonna move to Los Angeles to
Pursue acting.
pursue acting. And I remember the 27th of August 2017, I bought a one-way flight to LA that I had to pay myself. And funny story how I afforded that ticket, because my parents said, "Sure, but we're not gonna, like, you're on your own."
Did they disagree with your decision to
No.
pursue acting?
No, never. My parents have never disagreed with any decision.
Okay.
They've always been supportive. I needed to get a flight to Los Angeles, and my sister had like a semi-boyfriend at the time that was very much into Supreme clothing. And apparently I found out about him what Supreme is for the first time. I find out that summer in 2017 that Supreme is a streetwear brand. I didn't know. And that week, they were doing a collaboration with Louis Vuitton, which also, by the way, went over my head. I
Massive,
didn't
yeah.
know. But I find out that if you get your hands on one of these T-shirts, you can sell it for like double, triple the value, specifically if it's a Louis Vuitton collaboration. and it was only going to be released in 3 stores worldwide. One of them was the Miami Louis Vuitton store. So I said, I'm going to spend all of my money that I have saved up from a waiter job to go buy these t-shirts and sell them. And so he tells me, sure, but like there's people in line 48 hours before. And I say, fuck it. And I literally show up with a water bottle and I stay in line for 2 days at the Louis Vuitton store outside.
How much you spend?
I spent probably $2,000, $2,500.
How much you sell it for?
I made about $8K.
Fuck off. Seriously?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I had by the way, an insane story. Here, it's not even over. I put it on Grailed, which is this street. But this was all, I learned all of this in a week. I didn't know what Supreme was. I didn't know, which right now,
I don't
like,
even know what Supreme is, by the way.
see, but like his reaction of camera is like, how do you not know? And right now, my
Yeah.
reaction would be the same. But at the time, I didn't know. It's like streetwear.
So can we put up
lore.
Supreme over here?
You've probably seen the tradition to have these white T-shirts with a box. They're called the box logos that just says Supreme. By the way, not particularly beautiful clothing, but
They make stupid shit these days. Supreme fucking bricks.
yeah, they do all of these collaborations. They'll make fridges.
It's a hype
And-
brand
and yeah.
company. It's just hype.
Well, what did you
Shout
do?
out Supreme.
It's like a culture brand. Like they
It was.
maneuver.
Now it's just
yeah,
hype.
it got bought now by big conglomerates. But anyways,
So
they also-
Supreme clothing was something
yeah,
at some
it
point.
started as a skateboarding movement brand, and it spun out of that. Anyways, I buy the clothing, and also very sketchy because, by the way, to give you guys how crazy it is, I'm in line. The guy that's first in line gets offered 100,000 dollars. Sorry, for the spot in line. He doesn't give it because, by the way, some people were going there with 20,000 to spend, and they were experienced resellers, so they probably made even more money. I'm getting towards the end of the line, and there's like famous rapper like Lil Yachty. You know Lil Yachty? He gets off of an SUV and expects to be able to cut the line, and people say, "No, he's not," and get the fuck out, and he's not allowed in. It was surreal. I go in with the little money I have, and in line, I learn about the catalog. I learn about what's gonna sell more. All I could afford was a wallet, a small card holder, the white T-shirt, and a hoodie. The hoodie really made a lot of money. And I leave the store scary because there's people saying like, "Hey, be very careful. Do not walk home. People are gonna
rob you.
So I call Uber. I go home. Okay, I'm on one. Now I need to sell this. I put it on Grail, and within a couple of hours, and I'm on cloud 9. I put it on Grail. I get a message on Grail, and he says, "Hey, I'm Young Thug's manager, and I would love to buy this from you." And I just saw rapper get off of it. So I'm in this. I'm like, is this how this works? Sure. What's the price? He agrees to a crazy price. And in that moment of complete loss, essentially the next day, I ship him the goods without him having paid. And I realized I was 17 and stupid. And I realized, I think I'm getting scammed. Like, of course, this is what the fact. This is not Young Thug's manager is not calling a guy in Grail to get the stuff. So I go to the USPS post office. It's a weekend. I mean, it wasn't a weekend, but and I get the package rerouted, which is not easy to do with the public parcel company, and then I start selling it properly.
So it turns out that was a scam.
Turns out that was a scam, and I dodged the bullet. I end up selling the stuff bit by bit. It took a week. It was like super hyped. And I buy my flight to Los Angeles and enough money to have a deposit. But I remember I flew to Los Angeles on the 27th of August of 2017. On the 28th of August, I did my first shift at Chipotle, the fast food, to start paying for rent.
If you don't mind me asking you about the 48-hour wait in line,
Yeah.
where were you going to piss and like what were you doing to eat?
And we would go.
Like someone
I
would,
genuinely-
someone would hold on for you,
No,
hold your place in line.
no, I think we would. Yeah, no. Oh, yes. You will have a camaraderie, and piss is quite an easy problem to solve.
Yeah.
And number two is you would just
is
go to
a
a nearby
problem.
restaurant and
Okay.
buy a bottle of water. and
But it's crazy that people wait in line like that. Like for
yeah, but
video games and
look
stuff.
at the money. For the people that were prepared for it and had the money, they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
If you're gonna make $8,000 in 2 days, that's like a month of working. Well, not for everyone. For some people, it's like a lifetime.
But that was very. I wanted to go, and that
That's
came
awesome.
up. I did that and ended up in LA.
You were a scalper at 17.
Scalper at 17. 1 week only. That's it. I completely retired from it.
you know how much we hate scalpers in the tech world. Like even Valve have a new Steam controller. Scalpers just go buy it. Then you have to go buy it for 4 times the price.
but
on
how-
One second. Scalper, by the way, deserved Scalper.
Okay,
48
fine, I
hours in
forgive
line.
you.
You stand 48 hours in line.
No.
The real problem is bots. But a scalper that stands 48 hours in line.
No, what happened is even during COVID with the AI boom with the graphics cards, I had 2 cousins. One in Canada States video called me in the middle of the night outside Micro Center for 3 days in winter. We're being like, this is the only way I can get a graphics card. And they had to wait outside Micro Center for like 3 days to get graphics cards. Meanwhile, people are going in, buying 5, 6, coming out and being like, you want to buy graphics cards? I bought it for 2K, give me 6K. And they're selling them there.
Have companies though put policies where you can only buy one product at a time?
They try.
Sometimes in moments of scarcity, but
Like
because
the PS5, for example, when it first launched, scalpers were just going on the website and getting like 100 units or something until they had to reduce maybe per IP or per user.
yeah,
you
or
can
per
only
card
per
too.
card.
Yeah,
You can only do one at a time
yeah.
because scalpers.
But the problem is across industries. Like the one has a massive one is live music has a massive scalper problem.
Yeah, apparently you can't get tickets on the websites, right? You have to go through scalpers.
Well, Ticketmaster is a scalper. He's a legitimate scalper anyway. A tour, they're like they buy the tickets from the artist and then they upsell
respect to
them.
the business model, man. If you're making money.
Well,
just off
actually, they're getting
reselling.
in trouble, and it is very monopolistic in that sense in the US, and they charge whatever they want, and it's too bad because I'm a big fan of music, for example, and getting to see live music should be a bit more accessible in that sense. But
Fair enough. Right, so you're now in LA.
I'm not in
acting.
LA. No, okay, acting, working as a Chipotle.
Like no acting gigs come.
Oh, no, that's the thing about acting.
Did you
is
go?
that-
Out, did you have to go and get like mug shots?
I had to figure it out because also I moved and I didn't know anyone. I had no reference point, so I had to get there and find. I need a headshot and now I need an agent, and that's like a big one. You need an agent. That's like the big first step you
and
need
not
to
every
have
agent will take you.
at all. No, agents are like they're professionals that need to spread their time across a number of clients and they're commission based. So like they need to get someone who books. I had a problem that I still have a very much an Italian accent. And you know, it's not like I can do any role. I mean, in LA. So, but
is it very hard to get rid of the accent?
I mean, if you for somebody that could be very skilled, like actors do it all the time. I couldn't. I think for a foreign language, it's very difficult.
Very difficult.
Very
yeah.
difficult.
Okay.
Because the phonetics, you know, if you're from Texas and you gotta do a New York accent, is a
Very,
completely
very
different type of
Yeah.
task. But my sets, I wanted to direct long term. That's like I said, I'm just too young to direct. I'm just gonna work in the industry, work my way through it, and I want to direct. I want to direct and write. And I mean, those I'll just summarize those years in. It ended up being 3-4 years of total hustle, trying to get an agent, got agents, got dropped by agents, emailing, walking into offices of the massive agencies, like going also, which is very much our style or my style, walking out, cold calling or showing up to places. And it was another example of, I would do it all over again, 10 times again. But another example where it got to a point where I was realizing this
Maybe
is
not.
not for me. And most importantly, I was growing interested in other fields. I think fundamentally, I wasn't getting stimulated enough.
Did you ever land anything?
Intellectually stimulated.
Did you get any roles or did you do?
Yeah. I did an HBO show where Mark Ruffalo is led by Mark Ruffalo. I was in one episode in a period piece where I play a pimp. I'm selling a woman into marriage.
Like, do you have that footage, bro?
Yeah.
Is it there?
Yeah, I can send it to you. It's on HBO. You can buy the episode on HBO.
Whoa! And you actually there?
Yeah. I
Do
have
you
a
have
live
do you have a picture of you there?
picture. What do you mean picture?
Like, we want to put up a picture here for the.
Oh, bro, let me
we'll
after think.
We'll source it after.
But yeah, for sure.
Also, do you get royalties?
I spoke about this yesterday. I get SAG royalties to this day.
What?
Every month, I receive 20 cents or like 30 cents. I was speaking about it's hilarious because I go back to New York City on Wednesday for the first time in 2 years. I go back to the US, and I'm gonna go and I know I'm gonna go into my apartment.
And you
and
get
I'm gonna have
royalties because of that.
because of that. Because it's the SAG union, the Screen
Yeah.
Actors Guild.
And apparently they're doing really well for the actors over there.
Oh, they're doing incredible. By the way, that's a solid union. They do a lot of work for actors, and the actor, you really go from making no money to if you work, you make quite a bit of money.
And we need that over here, where you have representatives from the union who actually dictate daily rates and what you're paid per hour and so on and so forth. Over here, that changed I think because it just started becoming more of a money making bottom line aspect.
See,
And so here you get paid per episode,
Yeah. In the US too.
regardless of how much time the episode takes to shoot. Because normally
no, you get
per
paid.
DMs, you have days.
Yeah, you get per DMs. You
So
do.
over here it depends on what production
Then
shows.
the biggest stars, I don't know. I have no idea what those contracts look like.
It must be crazy.
But yeah, no, it's a union that has essentially been able to, frankly, establish a lot of control. And they fight they're fighting with the streamers and these people, and they're able to maintain their identity. But they're a pretty well executed union, to be honest. I'm sure the studios would like if they weren't so well
They
executed.
make a lot of money. You have a question?
I don't know how to tell you this, but we're also unionizing, Saj. We want more pay.
What, podcasting?
Yeah, we're against you. We're unionizing.
Yeah. What was it? Sangulo.
Now he understands the studio. Now he's like Amazon. I don't want a
I
union.
want benefits. I want health support.
Ah, what was it? What was it?
Vaffanculo.
Mafanculo.
Exactly.
Wait in line. So now, okay. What was now piquing your interest? Obviously, it was 3 years, man. I respect the fact that
3-4 years, yeah. I ended up being a waiter for 4 years.
no regrets.
Server at all. No, because also, by the way, I wasn't passively going through this.
It was
I hope they
everyone
call me.
else. Yeah.
No, it was, I hope they call me. I had a shift 5 to 11 p.m. and 9 to do. I was trying to do accent class. I was showing up to every day. No, I was working like a dog. The reality is, though, that I generally, by the way, always, I'm going to go after it aggressively.
What I like about you is your willingness to try.
Oh, for sure.
And when you try, it's not just dip one toe in.
No.
You go fully in. And if it doesn't work out, fair enough. Let's go and see what else we can do. That kind of life has a lot more words on pages and makes a book more interesting,
Oh, for sure.
rather than sitting on the edges and wondering what. I'm not sure if it's a culture thing as well, because the ability to do so many things by the time you... How old were you after that?
Yeah,
23?
all of this, by the way, I was 23, 24.
Yeah, so you see what I mean? Majority of us, university, high school... Wait, we
Yeah,
go
but
Russia.
I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
cultural because it's.
Yeah.
I think it's situational because
Situational as well.
because a lot of friends in my culture have not had
That same exposure.
that same experience. And also, again, when we speak of talent, and I wouldn't label that I was able to do this because of talent, because I'm giving you examples of 3 failures that I've had for the lack of talent, but I have had the ability and the luck to do it.
Tenacity
and to dedicate
keep
it.
going, man. I
Completely.
respect that.
And that also comes from, I was lucky that I grew up bouncing around all the place. I was forced to reinvent myself, to try, because if not,
Yeah.
and then also natural tendencies. I'm social, so I'm not gonna.
But also,
I'm
you're
intense.
also very positive. I've never heard
Very.
you bitch or moan about
No,
anything,
never,
man.
never.
Like in all our interactions, it's constantly positive, and I
You,
appreciate
man,
that.
you gotta be an optimist because it's a choice.
I've changed. I say less of fuck that and fuck you and fuck this, and it's more about yes, we're going to achieve it. We
See,
stay
see the way he
positive.
said I can't unionize. He signs my paychecks. I can't disagree. He's the nicest guy I've ever known.
What do you
Like,
mean sign
positive.
your paychecks? You don't have a paycheck.
He buys me lunch once in a while. Okay.
I pay you cash. No, but I appreciate you, and we're going places.
Yes.
We'll make movies together with Mark.
I'm stepping into my producer bag.
Exactly. We're gonna bankroll this fucking Rush Hour 4-esque type movie.
I'll carry it in my cachets.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Free distribution. Right. So we're pivoting now to the next phase. What is that? What caught your interest?
So this is also where the what's the word? Where the cliche of making sure I have good friends and good surrounding helps. This is where Jose comes back into the picture. While I was going through this, Jose actually finished college. I had dropped out of college, by the way, in all
Yeah.
of this. And right as he finished college, I was up to here as like I was really struggling with the lack of independence of like, you know, all I ever crave is to be good at something. That's like go deep in something. There's a lot of pleasure in going deep in something.
That's
Pause.
that's
Actually, no. That's I can say that. I can say that. I do risk if I put I put no gender around
that
that.
was the perfect moment to basically have what's that sound effect? That's the one. Yeah.
No, that's a clip. That one is always.
Yeah.
By the way, I need. You can tell this is my first podcast. I'm not having this proxy on at all.
So speaking of going in deep, right? So now
Let's pull out.
Let's
of
pull
the
out.
conversation.
Yeah. We're just making it progressively worse. All right, Omar. Right. No more funny things. Okay. So what's the next adventure then? What got your?
Oh, so
interest
this is an
peaked?
interesting. Get ready for a pivot. He's tempting me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a mistake again.
Yeah.
So Jose is finishing college, and via friends of friends, he gets an opportunity to intern for this very interesting and very very fascinating character, who's an entrepreneur in California, or older guy, and this is a gentleman who had very success in the .com bubble, and so very well capitalized, and he had a vision around really the intersection of healthcare and newer forms of treatment. And Jose starts working there as an internship, and I'm hearing about it. And the cool thing is that he was studying in New York. He says, "Omar, I'm moving to LA," and I was like, "Amazing!"
And you guys were keeping in touch with that.
We were keeping in touch for sure. Yeah, so he comes in. We keep in touch. We started seeing each other daily because we're good for my best friend. And I'm starting to vocalize like, look, I'm getting tired of this. I don't think I want to continue doing this. And also just being a good friend, I think he starts pushing the idea of me coming to also work in this company with him. And we're lucky enough for both of us, the founder of this company, very, very, very incredibly open-minded individual, takes me to dinner with Jose. We have a dinner and just gets a feeling that I could be a great business development guy for a company that does ketamine treatment for anxiety and depression. So in the psychedelic space, there you go. And
this is we're talking about. This is a millionaire, US millionaire,
completely.
and he took literally interest in taking time and speaking to you guys over dinner and coaching you.
Oh, completely. No. This guy has given us, and that sets us on a trajectory where me as a college dropout and Jose as a newly graduated student, he actually gives us a lot of control in the company. The guy was not operationally involved in the business, so somebody had to do it.
And how did? So sorry, I don't want to mess up. Is it Jose or Jose?
So in Kenya, everyone says Jose.
Jose. But you know the thing is that it's universally known as Jose.
Yeah.
But our Jose from Mozambique, he says his name is Jose, and he's from Portugal.
In Portugal, they say Jose.
Okay, they say Jose.
Jose Mourinho.
Hey, you guys learn something new every day. Yeah, Jose Mourinho. Hey, what the fuck, man? You're learning something.
And
how did Jose know this founder? Jose.
Through a common friend of ours called Brandon, who was already working with him. But then eventually he left the business by the time I came in. And at this point, also important to reference, our third co-founder, Luis, who's Jose's brother. At this point, he's my best friend's younger brother, who's 3 years younger than us, or 2 years younger than us, I forget. And he's still in university in New York. And so Jose and I, to kind of synthesize or summarize these 2 years that we did together there, we get exposure to running a business where operationally we go from being a lean team to being 30. Jose and I really pushing all of the efforts around the fundraise, around navigating in such a regulated sector like mental health care in the US.
And who's coaching you through the aspects of raising capital? Because
that's this gentleman called Ryan. He definitely planted the seed and showed us the way of how to do it. But then there's the whole effort behind it, and we put all over it. And he was, of course, he had a very important network and knew how to fundraise capital very efficiently. So mostly thanks to him, but we got to see from within how it's done. And also what things could be done better and how would we run the company if it were ours. And eventually, Jose and I historically have had interest in Africa, in building infrastructure here. And it was at a point where we were starting to realize the opportunity and the learnings that we just had over those recent years. And we really, once you start amalgamating those tools and you start getting inspired of You start seeing the iteration cycle from idea to a project to reality. It's a very fascinating experience to go through, even existentially, because even you start meeting other people in the space and people who might even be doing very well. And in a way, it reminds me of the things that I liked about being a tennis player or wanting to direct. It's like, whoa, you see people fully absorbed into this and being busy. Like, you have stuff to do that is impactful.
Yeah.
And you're in that situation where you're forced to do it and you're forced to solve complicated problems because they're going to be impactful. Oh, and that was such a position we wanted to be in. And a series of events aligned where personally we just said, we're going to make the tough decision of leaving the company, where at that point we had equity in the business and also we had important positions in the business.
They gave you equity in the business.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. How many years of working?
Year and a half. Yeah. But
that's not a Kenyan thing.
No, that's not a Kenyan thing. And that's something we're doing here in Kenya that I'm very glad we're doing it. It's a very American Silicon Valley startup thing. And
which is brilliant, right?
It's
Because
brilliant,
you take ownership.
Yeah, but that's how you incentivize. That's how you ensure that people are working and pushing through on a Saturday 8 p.m. if it's necessary. And to build something great, there's no doubt that that's required.
So what was the decision you two made? And maybe what was the thought process behind leaving, I guess, a company where you have equity? And I'm assuming it was growing as well.
Yeah, but it was again incentivization that also it wasn't our passion. I'll say that.
Fair enough.
We loved it because we learned so much, but it got to a point where we could build our own. We were also always very fascinated with the concept of we have a bit the blockchain angle for us has been very centric to the business, and we've been very fascinated with blockchain, specifically stable coins, for a couple of years prior. But while all of this was going on, I was interested in many things. Right?
Did you invest in any of the crypto coins that went parabolic?
Dude, I have some crazy stories around that. Crazy stories.
Let's dive into it. I want to hear more.
Oh, I mean, Jose and I, and Luis and his brother too, in the last bull run when it started, we made and lost. And this is the crazy part. This is why I feel comfortable saying it, because I did not make the money. I lost it. But where we literally turned $5,000 into $250,000 in a week, and then it went down to zero in 2-3 days.
Was this like
it happened
coin?
twice? Yeah.
Meme? Which
By the way,
coin?
also I'm giving you. I went in with stablecoins and blockchain. I'm giving you an anecdote about a meme coin. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Question: have you ever heard?
I
about-
wish I had put a long-term investment in Bitcoin, but I wasn't.
Man, to be honest,
I didn't have the long-term thinking that maybe I have now when I was
2013, 2014 when Bitcoin was there. A friend of mine called Pape, he the thing is, he was a dumbass. He was there's no other way to put it. Pape, I love you. Shout out Pape. But just when it comes to business savvy things, he's the last fucking person you would turn to. In 2013, 2014, he was like, you guys, let's buy Bitcoin. And all of us was like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
Oh.
He was like, dude, just put $100.
See, I'd never had that friend.
And now he looks back and says, you fuckers didn't listen to me. If we put, at 2013 was the price, it was like $1 per coin, $2, $10. Even if you had like 10 coins, imagine that.
I mean, that's
And he said, just forget it. We'll look at it in 10 years later.
It was cents.
Pape, the guy who was drunk
Yes,
on the
yes,
stage,
yes, yes.
dancing,
Dancing, yes.
that guy.
So what did he make?
It's always, huh?
Did he put $100?
Because we didn't do it.
But actually, good question. Did he make
We
money?
didn't put.
No.
So he was like, let's get together. Because at that time, you had to go through third parties. You couldn't really.
Yeah, there
open
was
up
no
an
Coinbase.
And
Yeah.
they were saying $300 you would essentially get, and you put a minimum investment for you and we hold it.
Right.
We were broke fucking university guys that had no money. Even $300 was hard to get in
course.
Kenya. So we were like, fuck that. We've got girls we need to take for dates and coffees we need to go for. What is this Bitcoin shit? Shut the fuck up. Sit in the car. Can you believe that? I was asking XRP. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. You, by the way, every time I see you, XRP, do you know that? Should I hold it? What do you think? What price do you think? How much XRP do you have, Sajid?
So much. Even he asked me, if SRP hits $100, then next is if it hits $10, if it hits $4.
I put a shit ton in XRP, bro.
When?
Over the last 2 years.
there's been a lot of price movement over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
When in the last 2 years?
So $1.7, $2, $2.5, $3. At all points, I was just buying.
You got some good entries.
Because I saw a reel on Instagram that says if it gets to $10,000,
it's like that.
But do you think there's a possibility it becomes like the Swift? Essentially, it is. Yesterday, the US announced, what was it? They're legitimizing the crypto assets and the transactions, and there's actually a board behind it, and the government is backing it.
Stablecoins.
Stablecoins.
That's what's getting legitimized.
But Ripple is essentially a mechanism to transfer stablecoins.
Right, but it has competition within that space. But also what's happening is a lot of the big traditional large fintech companies and banks are building their own rails, right? If you talk about Stripe, which is one of the most phenomenal fintech companies, they acquired aggressively within the crypto space. They bought Privy, which is, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but the leading wallet platform for on-chain assets, and also the whole infrastructure to build those type of architectures. They bought Bridge that allows for seamless movement across currencies into stablecoins. So it's a very fascinating time. In fact, right now in the crypto space that is now we're now not in the bull market anymore, but there's been real adoption within the stablecoin sector. That's where the excitement and even the capital is at. Even when we talk about venture capital, that's where I think in the crypto space most of it is going into.
On your personal side, in terms of investing, maybe not in stable coins, but do you have any crypto markers that you're looking at? Maybe aside from Bitcoin, they're like, okay, this from a long-term play seems like a good investment.
See, well, Bitcoin for me certainly is.
Yeah, are you still buying?
Long-term? No, at the moment I am not buying. I'm very happy. I got my family a very good allocation on it a few years back, which they're holding on to that long term.
Yeah.
But personally, no. I also, by the way, the reality of a startup founder. We make the least out of anyone in the company.
I remember.
We're not very liquid.
Was it your phone? Was it your phone or Jose's phone, which was broken the last time I saw it?
Mine.
Your fucking iPhone.
All of ours, probably. I actually, I need to buy a new one. It's starting to look ridiculous. It's like embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
All right. So, you when you decided to leave the company, did you have a roadmap that you were saying this is what we're going to go and do?
We thought, but no. It's because the reality, looking back at it, no, there was no roadmap to it. But it was, we're going to leave. Here was the plan. We're going to leave. We want to build. We want to leverage. Blockchain and crypto capital and peg it to infrastructure in Africa. That was the initial high-level idea. Yeah. And there was this concept called Iten, which is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, which is, it's the label that represents, it's the moniker that represents the attempt and the business models that try to involve retail and communities into the build out of critical infrastructure.
Right.
And it's very, you can see how that's very crypto native, that all about decentralization of ownership and participation and governance. And so that idea really tickled us the right way. And it was just starting to actually get quite a bit of steam in the space. And we said, this is the space we need to investigate a bit more and jump in. But we had to learn first. We didn't know much about it. So what we decided to do, by the way, through this point also, we had made a decision, and there was a no-brainer decision, that we were going to do this also with Luis, which is Jose's brother. The three of us were going to do this together. Luis also has a very fascinating story. He graduated college in the meantime, and he was working in human resources at LVMH, at Dior Perfumes in New York.
That's a far stretch from what you guys are doing.
Crazy, huh?
Crazy.
And so the plan was the following. It's like, you have a 1 month notice, Luis, so you're going to join us 2 weeks later because we already quit. There's a big crypto conference happening in Singapore called 2049. The week before, actually, there's one called in Seoul in Korea called Korea Blockchain Week. And we have no money. We probably have, between the three of us, we have $35,000. We are going to buy tickets and go to this conference and try to raise money on an idea that we don't have. But we learn and we start pitching.
You posted a picture of you guys sleeping in the same hotel room.
In Singapore.
Also,
because we couldn't afford
Yeah, could you share? Could we mark that? Can we put that picture up over
Yeah,
here?
let's write a list of the photos. that I
So
took over
so just take note of that, so then Omar can share with us.
Yeah, we shared one bed in Singapore. We had a blast.
It's your boys. You're there.
Completely. Also, the excitement. You're like, I'm gonna go build a company, and I'm in Asia for the first time in my life. And we were on cloud 9, and we were just waking up and pitching. And the pitch was non-existent. We're gonna go build our infra in Africa. That was like, but how are you gonna get the money on? We're gonna get liquidity flows from on chain. We're gonna take them off chain, and we're gonna pay the yield of what it makes. It didn't make a lot of sense at the time. And we had a terrible time fundraising. But the central component of the pitch was that we were gonna do it in Africa, because the arbitrage of opportunity was massive. Because if you talk about incentivizing adoption from retail and from the market, it's very hard to do that in the West.
Yeah.
A coffee's $4 in New York City. So sure, if you can install this little device in your home that pays you $2 per week, no one cares. No one's going to do it. But in Africa, people would absolutely do that.
Yeah. $2 a week, or
They'll do it.
extra money.
Extra
for
money.
People
They
who
will
live
do
on $100 a month.
They will. Now, of course, this vision and this sense of decentralization, we haven't fully moved in that direction because we saw a much more utilitarian approach to product and to go to market. But what really appealed to us was this concept of enabling and having and being able to scale critical infra with the ecosystem, as opposed to being centralized, like you would say. And so, sorry, let me continue. I was saying a central part of this was Africa. And so we do Korea, we do Singapore, and by the way, we're working hard here to, okay, what do we want to do? We need to concretize this. We need to figure out because it sounds very interesting. It sounds appealing to us. There's the fundamentals are in place, like the first principle thinking of really what are the macro trends here. It sounds like we could really do something. And what was missing here is none of us had ever been to Africa in our life, ever.
You want to start up a business in Africa?
Not telling investors, I'm the guy that's going to build this in Africa for you.
But you've never been to Africa?
Never put foot in Africa. Actually, I have been to Egypt at a summer.
Yeah, tell him Egypt is African. See what he says. Is it Fafa? What is it?
Vaffanculo.
Vaffanculo. Yeah.
And so we like, okay, we're running out of money. And we, by the way, very important to note, at that time and day, thanks to that trip, we were able to raise about $75,000.
Really?
We were, with some incredible angel checks that we get goosebumps thinking, wow, now it makes a lot of sense, the investment. But they participated, then it was definitely, at the early stage, at the end of the day, investors talk about all the time, you got to invest in the team because the company will pivot. All of the assumptions you have do not play out. So early stage investors are the first one to tell you that they invest in teams. And I guess some people believed in us, and we translated that.
They saw you, and they believed, rather than whatever they're planning is, that these are the characters. They'll pivot, or whatever it is. These are the people who want to invest in.
Essentially, because at the end of the day, the pitch that they got that we raised the first $50,000 has nothing to do with now.
Yeah, by the way, it's from what you guys are doing, it's a fast stretch.
Correct. So, yet it's the same business, right? It's the same structure, it's the same equity structure. So did you come to Africa next after that? Or we went to my mother's home in Barcelona to see what to do, but just a week. And but there was no doubt. It's like, from here we go to Africa. And Jose had a contact of somebody in Kenya, in a village in Kenya, because a while back, throughout this period, we started a charity crypto project that did kind of well. We got to build a bunch of water wells here in Kenya. We got to pay for a bunch of surgeries. We gave out a bunch of money. We made no money from that, but it was like a very fun crypto project that we made to like, we want to do this. Let's actually at least try and build something. So let's build something in the charity lens, in the impact lens. And so we said, Kenya. We know somebody in Kenya, and it turns out it's a guy that lives in a village in Lamu, which I haven't met, whom I haven't met, by the way, yet. And so we get one-way tickets from Barcelona to Nairobi. A week before leaving, we found out there's another crypto conference in Bangkok, Thailand, and we need to raise more money. And so I say, guys, one of us has to go. And I ended up going.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And So Jose and Luis go to Nairobi. I spend a few days in Bangkok where we're able to raise a little bit more money. And then I fly Bangkok, New Delhi, Nairobi. And I land here in Westlands. Elite Residence was the first place we landed. We didn't know anyone, not a friend of a friend, not a soul. And we said, "Oh, we're going to be here." 1 way ticket.
What was your experience of
We
Kenya?
actually had to buy a fake ticket out for the visa.
What was your experience like when you first landed in Kenya?
Oh, it was great. But we felt like a Navy SEAL force completely. We were like, where do we go? Who do we have to meet to make this happen?
And what were the first few months then in Kenya?
We wasted no time. At that time, there was within the deep in space there still is a lot of potential and interest around wireless. And we had met a company that was thinking of this deploying this wireless, and we thought about it. Oh, we could deploy their wireless antennas in Kenya and see and get us started there. And then, of course, once you come here, you realize, wait, if I need to deploy an antenna, telecommunications, I need licenses from the government.
But you had no exposure in telecommunications.
None.
Fucking, that's odd. I thought you did.
No, none. Zero. At that time, I didn't know what a router was in terms of the truly understanding what it does. And so we got to learning. We got to learning very quickly. And we also realized we were trying to build some sort of connectivity here, but
Oh, you're still in Nairobi, right?
I'm in Nairobi still. And our first idea was we're going to connect schools. And I remember walking into meetings with like some big school organizations here. I will not mention them.
So we can bleep that.
I will not mention them, but and I will tell them how we were gonna build them an internet network, and we had no idea. And I look back at it and I was like, what was I talking about in a boardroom with the whole thing? Hilarious. And very quickly but that direction that set us into, okay, what would it look like to actually do any sort of telecommunication infrastructure here? We've quickly find out that, wait, in order to deploy and have any sort of profitable operation within telecommunication space in Kenya, there's some very, very peculiar dynamics around pricing and how you can squeeze any sort of revenue out of that. The price of capacity is very forbiddingly expensive and
expensive.
Yeah, and they're cheap compared to other parts in Africa. Very cheap compared to other parts in Africa, but for what you sell it for,
connectivity prices, yeah, you're buying it at pennies to the dollar.
Against the price sensitivity of the market, it's very expensive.
Very expensive.
Right. And so you're looking at the margin, I'm like, it's impossible to be an ISP here. And so as we kept diving down the stack to try and solve the problem of being an ISP, we realized that we could build a solution for the ecosystem at the end of the day. And that's where Share really started taking shape, which was deep within the telecommunication space, and very much around maintaining this idea alive of enabling participants in the ecosystem, being the telco ecosystem in Africa. And we then went to Mombasa because we quickly realized that that's where the best access to capacity is. Mombasa is one of the epicenters for connectivity in the continent.
Who told you that Mombasa was right? Like, who gave you that direction?
Google. Reading that, like looking up at the subsea cable map of the world.
Yeah.
No, this whole experience, and to this day, even now that the company is matured, and I think we're having, and we'll get now to what we're doing now, but I think an important impact in the market. Pirates. We were complete pirates for the opportunity. If it was to go to Mombasa, we picked up our things and moved to Mombasa within 24 hours. There was no
question.
Not zero. Let's go. Let's go to Mombasa.
Decision making.
Let's go to crazy. By the way, all through this going through crazy experiences. First night in Mombasa, it's pouring rain. Mombasa style weather. We get there late at night. The Airbnb is flooded with water, like this much water, all over the Airbnb. We go to sleep. It's so humid because of the water in the ground. Everything's flooded. The host of the Airbnb walks into the Airbnb at 4 at night and walks into Jose's bedroom and asks her if she can give him a hug. Wakes him up at 4 a.m. Just imagine you're in an Airbnb and at 4 a.m. the owner of the place walks in. I'm just giving you like, we're going through all of this and just having these insane experiences
Hose is
of
a
being.
handsome guy, so I don't blame. I don't blame her going past Omar's room.
I completely do. I still haven't forgiven her for that.
So it's a completely foreign experience, right? And if you notice, Mombasa culturally as well is very different from Nairobi.
See, they're definitely much less used to Muzungus,
Yeah.
for sure.
So okay, you've reached there. Did you get your license at that time, or you're still?
No, but for example, we realized we need a license fairly quickly.
Yeah. CAK.
So
right?
we just walked into the CAK offices.
And how was it to deal with CAK?
It was phenomenal.
One thing, Communications Authority of Kenya.
Great.
We had Michuki Mwangi over here. Remember the episode we did? That's the reason fucking Kenya is efficient when it comes to connectivity.
It's an incredibly well run. By the way, they're dealing with all the complications of operating also in Kenya, which they're dealing with other dynamics too. It's a government agency that acts slightly independently, still at the service of the government. It's very well run. They're the second best, let's just say,
They're very
telecom
effective.
ecosystem in Africa is Kenya,
Very
right
effective.
after South Africa. So it's
I think the moves that CAK made essentially put us in a spot where we overtook Tanzania from a subsea perspective, from a
that made all the
connectivity
difference.
perspective, because Tanzania's port, Dar, is much more attractive in terms of just every single attribute you can mention. But Mombasa, generally from a connectivity perspective, took off because of the forward thinking of a lot of these guys and the initiatives. Do you know Michuki Mwangi from ISOC? I'll connect.
No,
I
no,
don't think you've met him, but
No.
the AFPIF event that's happening in Kigali, are you guys planning on coming for that?
We're thinking about it actually.
Just at least send one person over there. Just so you can connect. I'll connect you with them over there. Back to your story. So, Jose's finished the night with the landlord.
No, actually, very weird. And we wake up, it's like we kick him out. It's a weird one. Anyways, so that very much a side story. But we moved to Mombasa and we take a trip into Kisauni.
Kisauni's where?
Kisauni, it's a constituency right above Nyali.
Yeah, further.
One of the most densely populated areas in, and we're now going there very much through the lens of connectivity, right? So we're site surveying essentially, like what would it look like to deploy here.
So the logic at that time, sorry to interject, is essentially you want to serve connectivity to impoverished areas.
Yeah, well, we saw a couple of interesting dynamics. First of all, we were surprised by the price of packages. People here spend very similar prices to what people spend in New York City in connectivity, which results in people spending such a monstrous part of their income on connectivity, which is an essential utility, and you cannot do without it nowadays. There's an over-reliance on cellular. We're getting accustomed to WhatsApp buying WhatsApp M-Pesa buying data bundles. The cost of those data bundles,
It's
where
ridiculous.
they sell you volume, they don't sell you bandwidth.
Yeah.
You're not getting 1 gigabit per second. You're getting 1 gig, and if you know it's nuts, which is not uncommon for cellular, but that's the standard here. Like your plans are based around that. Unlimited plans are not really a thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we were just like, whoa, this is mind-boggling. At the same time, we're doing a lot of learning. We know that there's a lot of unconnected people still across the continent. And we just take a site serve. We rent an Uber and we tell them please stay with us for the day. And we just go into Kisauni, which is quite a dangerous area of Mombasa, which we didn't know at the time. And we just start knocking on people's homes and going into homes, starting doing speed tests, asking about connectivity. And we were just boggled by what we saw. Like people getting 0.5 Mbps, paying for 15. Consistently.
Zuku.
Zuku.
By the way, just got acquired by a big French
this,
Tanzanian company.
Axiom,
I think.
Axiom Technologies.
Yeah. And so that got us very, very, very interested. But as we kept diving down why is the ISP not able to provide the speeds? Because it's at the end of the day, you're going to churn the customer. Like clearly we saw a customer base that was very fragile. If you just have an minimally better service, they will churn out, which in the US, that for example, on even some of the Western countries, speeds are now gotten so commoditized, high speeds, that people don't care. Like what's the difference between a 500 MB package and a 1 gig package?
Yeah.
You're only consuming 10, 12.
And bandwidth is unlimited. Then,
Bandwidth is, yeah, I mean, fixed internet it is. And also even cellular, you do unlimited plans very often.
So it's you see the difference here where they're selling you capacity versus them selling you speed.
That's huge.
Because
That's a big
capacity
one.
because capacity is unlimited in modern markets. Use as much as you
Well,
want.
capacity is a throughput.
It's a
like
throughput,
they
yeah.
sell is like selling you a lane in the highway
Yeah. And
as
now
opposed to selling you can only use the highway for 50 meters.
that's what the local guys are doing.
Okay, I have a question. Is it okay? Maybe it's an old view, but see in the States, even if you get unlimited, they give you a certain data you can use. After that, they throttle you. Or is it just unlimited? Go have fun.
No, it depends on the plan. Depends on the plan.
But it's also
They'll
it's-
throttle you, but I have unlimited with my. I still have my year's plan. I can go to Japan and have data on my
cellular.
cellular.
And that's how a lot of Americans still use the American cellular when they come to Kenya.
See,
Even Europeans. When
Yeah,
Zubair
yeah,
came from UK, he was using his UK line over
I
here.
have my cousin's AT&T SIM. It works through Airtel.
Try and fucking use Safaricom in South Africa or London.
They piggyback.
Safaricom in Pangani
You,
doesn't
when
work.
I'm
you
here, I
pick up
take it
your
back from
phone, it's a
Airtel.
fucking 1,000 bob. That's an exaggeration.
I can't
but
even
you-
get
you-
5G on my phone from Safaricom,
And now they're selling you 5G bundles, where
which costs more.
60 gigs for like 3,000 shillings or something. Suck my dick, man. Come on. Sorry.
60 gigs for 3,000. No,
Yeah,
more
it does.
expensive.
One second.
That sounds cheap.
Let's
I buy bundles too. 60 gigs for 3,000 bob, you don't get.
One second. There's
I
5G
buy
bundles.
I buy the Matthew one, 15 gigs.
Yeah,
or something
but
for
it's like
1,000
I
bucks.
buy
So there's buy bundles. This is on the new Safaricom app, which is by the way horrible.
Please give us back the old one, I beg you.
Just,
So
just use the USSD version.
Where do I check data?
Pound 544.
No. There's like there's roaming bundles, international bundles. There's 5G bundles. There's with expire go monthly. Okay, so we have data only. 40 GB plus WhatsApp, which is what I'm on. That's 3,000 bob a month. Then they have Go 5G. 65 gig for 3,000 shillings, bro. And then 100 gig for 5,000 shillings and 200
Crazy.
gig for 10,000
Which
shillings.
is not even actually 5G.
And
Yeah.
and it's valid for
You
for
can tell
30
people
days.
about this. I tell people you don't have, they're like, oh, it's 5G. It's not real 5G.
No, man.
5G migration takes time. And they've migrated part of their network to
It's
5G.
not all of it.
No.
Yeah.
No. So it takes years.
Here's an S25 Ultra. If someone is a Safaricom, can give me 5G on this phone, I'll buy you lunch. I can't get 5G. It won't get 4G is maximum. On Telcom, I get 5G.
Is your device 5G compatible?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
The flashlight
taking-
turned on the
So I-
device.
so I
He took it
swiped like
personal.
this.
For the
No,
for the
it
for the,
is.
for the audio listeners, Fazad took another feed
Oh
pic
my God.
of Omar.
You take off
we
your-
I am 5'9" and have 54 foot size. So
Fazad,
I walk on water.
The producer's embarrassing the guest.
Listen,
This
I
is the
just
second time he's
swiped-
done this stuff.
I just
Sorry,
swiped,
sorry,
I
sorry,
swiped
sorry,
by
sorry.
mistake. Yes, I do have. It is a 5G phone. I get on Telcom 5G. I
Yeah.
can't get on
No, but by the
Safaricom.
way, everywhere or some areas of the city have 5G.
I cannot get 5G. Period.
You've been blacklisted.
Period.
Yeah,
I
the-
can't.
Safaricom or Airtel?
I think on Airtel I get 5G, but Airtel 5G sucks anyways. And no one's on Airtel SIM. Let's be honest. Like Safaricom, I get 4G if I'm lucky. I can't get 5G.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in the behind the scenes that you guys are not aware of. Anyway, Omar, you clearly have established there's massive discrepancy in the internet ecosystem. Over here.
Massive.
What are the next steps then?
Well, understand why those are and keep. It was, I think, extracting the right information. Because clearly something is not working well. So there's clearly a problem that has been solved in other markets. That also was a big instinct. It's like, okay, what is limiting the development of connectivity in Africa that wasn't doing so that hasn't done so in the US or in Spain? Like clearly, the same vendors are available. You can get Cisco routers here too. And you realize it's not even about those, but there's access is there. There's 7 subsea cable systems, and there's more
there's
coming.
Yeah,
So the capacity
is there.
also there's this illusion of scarcity around bandwidth. I think most Kenyans will think that no, it's scarce resource, when usually the price of a commodity is a simple supply demand relationship, and
From
there's an
two guys
oversupply.
from two guys working in the internet, there's a shit ton of fucking bandwidth. The problem is the people distributing the bandwidth still want to profitize on something that's utilitarian.
See, and look, within a capitalistic framework, it's normal that businesses need to seek profit out of their services. The way the multiple profit-seeking companies are working with each other is what exacerbates this even more.
Yeah.
So if you think about the supply chain of internet, no, we think about how you make a car from the bolt to having the four-wheeler. let's start with the subsea cable. The reality is that for a lot of Kenyans that get internet, that journey, there's maybe 15 networks in between and 15 providers. And in simple terms, each one of those is a contract, and each contract is an upsell. And who ends up really carrying the burden of this whole upselling is the customer, in the form of price or in the form of your provider is also taking on this 14 contracts on top of him that he doesn't have enough capacity to give.
Yeah.
So that was the big glaring issue that we saw, aligned with a fact that there's a surplus in many cases of infrastructure. That's just what people don't know. Kenya does not have a fiber problem in the slightest.
There's a lot of fiber.
In Nairobi, guys.
Oh yeah, fiber is everywhere.
I mean, Nairobi, I'm also giving you the metropolitan center, the epicenter of the country, but Mombasa to Nairobi. I mean, but go to Eldoret. How many fibers are going to Eldoret? To Nakuru?
They
to
started
Kisii,
popping up, especially over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And smaller ISPs as well. They're building their own networks
Aggressively.
aggressively.
Aggressively. And that's really, I think, and small networks is a big definition, but I think for people maybe from the outside that didn't know, the fragmentation of the market here is also what's quite unique. That was a big realization.
Where you have an estate, for example, that's served by an ISP that you've never heard of.
Correct. And they stay next door by another one.
Yeah.
And then you have some areas, ISPs that got 60 estates in that area.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
And-
40,000
and
users.
That's just their.
By the way, and those are businesses generating $4 million in revenue.
So you know all
They're an
these,
ISP you've never heard of.
all these Vijiji nets and Shoki nets. And
These
Mairangi.
are big. The GGs, for example, on user base is big.
big, bro.
I'm gonna assume they have
Shout out Macharia, Frederick. Yeah, he's
absolutely.
they're doing aggressive stuff, and these are the guys that will take on Safaricom. But anyway, there's more to this story. I want you guys to learn as well what happens in the internet space. It's not just all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We just don't have fun. We work as well to keep this shit online.
Absolutely. No, well, people it's fascinating how many people depend on the internet and the average knowledge base.
Yeah,
It's actually quite curious.
it is. It is.
Um,
So now, essentially, I'm assuming at that time you're engaging with the ISPs, you're engaging with the subsea guys, you're trying to get more information.
see.
What was the decision where you were like, okay, fine, we can take this on and we can approach a new model? And what was that new model which became Shell?
See, I think also a reality of building and wanting to build fast, moving fast being like a core driving force of how you think. It's a full belief that I'm gonna be more exposed to opportunity if I'm able to execute and pivot quickly and iterate quickly on my vision. So it wasn't a one moment thing. Now is the time to do this. Whatever was the priority that we identified for those couple of weeks was where we were going on full steam ahead. And within that, in that series of decisions, is where you start shaping up the model in many ways. Not every decision you make is binary. Some doors you open lead to more doors. Very few decisions are black and white, and you got to recognize it's important. But so we kept moving along through how can we start bringing capacity to these networks, and it went all the way to where we've deployed 80 kilometers of fiber ourselves.
Really?
Yeah. We pulled the fiber, the three of us. We went on with aprons pulling fiber.
Oh, seriously? 80 kilometers already?
Yeah, already. I mean, now we're managing over 6,000 kilometers we have altogether.
Oh, this was that time. This was, I'm assuming in Mombasa. This is
Mombasa. This is in Mombasa.
Yali and all these sites.
Yeah. But I mean, right now we've also completely, fiber-wise, we've completely exploded that. The network right now is over 6,000 kilometers of fiber.
Okay, so we'll get to modern day. So I want to understand what the differentiating factor is from a customer perspective, or because let's say if I'm an ISP and Share wants to work with me, what does that look like versus if I'm a customer, let's say FTTH at the end, what does that look like
Completely.
with Share?
We're a B2B2C go-to-market strategy, okay? So
Do you know what that is, B2B?
business to customer.
Okay.
Right? A business has ways of getting to its customer. It's B2B. Also, some enterprise companies are B2B because they just go to other businesses. They don't have a single end consumer. So we deal a lot. Our relationships are mostly with the ISP, and that's how we get exposed to the end user and how we impact that. Essentially, share a good way of thinking of it is we're the first truly carrier neutral internet network that enables a bandwidth marketplace that has two sides. On one side, you have the infrastructure providers. There I put capacity, and there I put physical network. So you have the consortium members, you have the subsea operators, and you have the fiber operators, really, and the tower operators. And here we have, it's a mixed batch. You have every from the utility companies that, as you know, are some of people don't know, but utility companies are some of the few businesses that are the only ones that are incentivized or have the operations to justify a 600-kilometer deployment of fiber. So they have the long haul fiber lines that connect, that you use to bring connectivity across a country. And on the other side, we have the ISPs, which is what we call the demand. So you see the supply and demand side of the marketplace. And the reality right now, remember when we talked about the supply chain of bandwidth being so fragmented, the upsell and the various contracts that happen. So essentially what we're doing at Share is, as this marketplace coordinator, we're taking on all of these contracts. We're taking on the 15 contracts in the supply chain. And we're exposing all of that efficiency under one single interface to the ISPs.
Okay. So day one, essentially, you adopt all the fiber networks under yours, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the opposite end, if a customer needs something in Westlands, through your platform, you interconnect them.
Immediately.
And so how does the business make money?
We take, and how we monetize has also been quite, it was causing, I think, a lot of the speeds in the market. People talk Savannah, but people know that we've been pushing now these speeds.
Yeah.
And we're going to take them much higher too. This is only getting started. But we don't build for bandwidth. So for those that are not familiar with the space, that's very unique.
So
if you're an ISP,
yeah,
you buy capacity in the data highway.
Correct.
That's your cost of goods for the most part. We do not itemize that at all. We give everyone open pipes. Everyone.
Fuck off.
Everyone.
Seriously. So you're making it like it is in the US, essentially.
Well, no, they do commits too, but yes, in terms that we are making it that accessible, we're treating data as the true commodity that it is, with an abundant supply.
Okay, so let's think about it this way. If I'm an ISP today, I will go and buy from an IP transit provider or content delivery network 1 gig worth of IP transit, and I
Correct.
pay, and that's how much I have to distribute in my network.
That's the highway you have into the internet.
Correct. What you're doing is you're saying the 1 gig doesn't matter.
You choose how big it is. Meaning, if you have the way you connect its connections, right? It's ports. If you have a 10 gig port, it's 10 gigs. If you have a 100 gig port, it's 100 gigs.
Do it.
Go, it's open. Use it.
And then but isn't there cost to you because...
It is a cost to me, but the reality is the cost of data in reality, if you are aware of it and can negotiate and can structure some deals, because also these guys, the supply side of my marketplace has a lot of pain points that we talk about now that we're servicing. But what we care about is nowadays it's the cost of bandwidth is shrinking year over year.
Yeah.
Therefore, making a business model that hinges its profit margin purely on the cost of bandwidth, you have a shrinking margin. So why would we do
returns.
that? And that's the luck of building a telco, which is also that telco is not a very entrepreneurial space. There's not a lot of people building telcos. There's legacy telcos for the most part. The advantage of building one today is that I can embed this sort of model from the get-go, where it's very hard for a Safaricom to say, you know what, we stop monetizing bandwidth. We just stop thinking of it as a monetizable.
So now we're doing speeds.
Now what we do is we do a success fee. We take a percentage. We're like the Airbnb of the internet. We'll take a percentage of what you sell of every subscriber, which is very powerful because I'm not a commit. So we even create a lot of working capital for the ISP, because ISP every month, 1st of January, bam, you have to pay all of your commits to all of your providers. You have to pay the fiber operator that you're leasing from. You have to pay the IPT provider that you're leasing from. Everyone. Drunk. That's cash it's not working capital.
That's what you take care of, essentially.
That's what we take care of.
So there's just, now if I'm,
now
you don't serve the customer directly.
Well, no, we don't serve the customer directly, but we severely impact the customer. And the customer is aware of us in many ways, because it is powered by Share Internet. And
so, okay, just allow my curiosity, and if I ask dumb questions, I do apologize. But let's say if I want your internet to serve me at home over here,
I will connect you to an ISP partner, which is a big value prop we have. we are carrier neutral. I'll connect you to an ISP in your area. That is your own share.
And the share company has a platform where I can access this.
So right now, this full marketplace notion, we have a website that will be coming out that allows you to request connectivity on the share, and we refer you. We don't even refer you. You don't know. You get connected.
It's automated.
And we'll pass the customer over to our partner, and they'll show up to your house and install it.
Can we? I'm not sure if you're open to talking, but let's say if I want like 1 gig DIA over here.
There you go. The beauty of this is that since we don't itemize bandwidth,
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So right now, we give minimums to ISPs. What I mean is you choose your pricing. Here are my limits for now. Because we also don't want to be too disruptive in the market. We want to approach it step by step. But right now, we're being incredibly disruptive. What are the minimums of the share platform? For 2,000 bob, the maximum speed you can sell is 100 MB. For 10,000 bob, the maximum speed you can sell is 1 gig. So you read
1 gig fucking speed and capacity.
Symmetrical.
You're not fucking even bringing that shit up.
you can connect 700 people. With a gig potential, you can build your own ISP.
Do you get that? So you get that delivered to your home, and essentially so maybe let's break it down for
And
quality.
I also want to say one thing before we go on.
Yeah.
It's gonna get a lot faster.
Okay, so
We know that.
let's break it down.
Trust me.
Let's break it down as a business model, right? Okay. You deliver let's not talk about it. Let's.
You're the ISP or you're the end customer?
I want to make Collins an ISP,
Okay.
right? So
Collins comes to share.
Collins comes to share,
He connects to us at
He
a data
connects to you.
center or a tower or a fiber
and he
joint.
tells you I live in Siokimau.
No, the ISP doesn't tell me where he lives. He tells me where his pop is.
Yeah, so essentially he wants to start an ISP business. That's what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
that's how I'm approaching it.
Yes.
So he tells you I want internet delivered to my pop in my home, and I want to start selling connectivity.
Correct.
So he approaches you and says, "There's 60 flats over here. Maybe each flat will need fiber and whatever." Essentially, you give him a fixed number.
He's gonna tell me. I'll give him all the capacity he needs at the location. Boom.
So if we want to talk numbers, I want to break it down to numbers. Let's say he asks for, because we're not doing capacity. How would we approach it though? Let's say he user.
Because remember, my revenue is purely based on what I would ask you is how many users do you have?
So let's say
What's the opportunity here?
So let's say there's like 60 flats over there, and each of them
That's
has
60,
4. So 60 user
60
bases.
subscribers. Yeah.
So the cost to him would be how much? Essentially, then he can resell it. That's what I'm trying to.
The revenue cost.
The revenue cost.
So this is where it gets absolutely ballistic in terms of the offer, and that's why we're growing so fast. The highest we charge is 20% of the revenue. To give you guys an idea, on average, even a mature ISP spends about 30 to 35% just on L2, on layer 2.
That's the fiber. That's the physical
So
infrastructure.
you don't even have to be on a data center. If I have a pop in Nakuru, you can pick up my capacity in Nakuru, and 80/20 is what you get.
So
which is
80/20
easy.
revenue split.
80/20 revenue speed, unlimited capacity.
Okay, limited capacity. I'm still trying to wrap that around my head. That if I go and I want to sell it to flats,
What would you do at that point? What we solve for you is the technical, complicated stuff. Where do I get the capacity? How do I manage my network? Because as part of that, also our system manages your whole network for you, essentially.
so you understand what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to paint numbers over here so people understand how ballistic.
He's going to start selling essentially with no really a lot of upfront capital. All you have to worry about is get a router for yourself, like a MicroTik, and then you have to deploy the fiber to the user's home. But the fiber itself is not that expensive, frankly.
Yeah, and so then you can sell each user. You can do capacity based for each user.
Yeah, no, you sell a package. You choose your packages. Collins ISP is gonna do 100 MB for 2,000 bob, and it's gonna do 250 MB for 3,000 bob.
So that's 60 flats. Let's say you're selling at 3,000 per flat. That's 180,000 shillings delivered, and each of them get that capacity.
I get 36,000 of those in that case.
So he gets 20% off.
Of 180,000, which is
and
36.
you get 80%. So essentially, think about it this way. Now I want to connect each of these houses here. There are 100 houses, and I want to connect them at let's say 100 MB per house, and that cost to me will be, let's say, maybe we're selling it at 10,000 shillings.
Yeah,
correct. Per house, he gets 2,000, and I get 8,000. So I can essentially start a business off of his business. So whatever the capacity is, you just go and resell it, and you don't even need the infrastructure, and you don't even need the back end. He sorted out the back end. You just get the customers and you resell to
You
them.
become it's a bit because an ISP is a big,
Sorry, I hope I didn't butcher it, but that's essentially
no,
the
no.
model.
I think you got it generally right. I think now we can add we can simplify it even.
Yeah,
right.
let's simplify it.
Which is just an ISP has a couple layers. You have the technical networking stack, which can be quite expensive, not just on a capex level, but on a maintenance level. You need to have technicians or engineers that know how to manage that. You have your cost of delivering, reaching your user, going the fiber from your brains into Sajid's living room. And then you have the capacity.
Yeah.
You gotta, once you build all of that, it's like, sure, I have my MikroTik, I have the fiber, but like, I need to connect this to the internet to actually connect Sajid to the internet. And except for this, what you're responsible for is building that last mile and the sale operation.
And the last,
all of the rest,
last
share
mile,
does.
last mile refers to essentially, he'll deliver it all the way to the compound. You just basically need to take the fiber and connect each apartment. And you can use Fazar for that.
And of course, the companies now are very, there's, this model then creates different incentives across different size ISPs, okay? The Collins example, for example, for us right now, is not a priority.
Huh?
The Collins example that we just gave is
yeah.
not a priority.
Okay.
Why? Collins is an ISP starting from zero. And I'm a revenue share based business. So as of today, I'm not super interested in Collins having to go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. I'm making 20%. Sure, you get to 100 users. That's impressive. 20% of 100 users is not a lot. It's just not a lot. The ISPs that are suffering the most right now are the ones that are live, that have the infrastructure overhead, that are getting absolutely killed in these
market,
capacity costs, that have 20,000 users, that have 10,000 users, that have 5,000 users. Those are the ones that are right now prioritized by us and coming on to us. And that's why you now see existing ISPs. We won't say names because we will not share our partner's name, but there's a reason why packages of 100 MB for 2,000 shillings are not possible. It's because of this model.
I mean, the Airbnb classification is awesome because Airbnb has a platform of flats. So if you want to essentially get connected in Westlands, Airbnb can give you that facility in Westlands. Airbnb is share essentially for the internet space. If you need connectivity delivered at that certain place, you as an end user can essentially access that platform and that apartment via the shares thing, which is access that connectivity and that facility, which is someone else's, right?
Yeah.
But you're using it for your convenience.
Exactly. And remember, when I talk about share, we kind of create a marketplace. You have ISP on one side,
And
infrastructure provider on the side. For the infra provider, that's very much the Airbnb model.
which is now you can sublet even that
Like,
space.
A, you have unused capacity, which is the equivalent of you have a spare bedroom in your house.
So someone comes and tells you, I want an apartment in Westlands. You go on Airbnb, you pay the guy $70, but then you resell to your customer at $150. So you made your margin, but it goes through that platform. But now, think about it as on the fucking internet. Isn't that brilliant? Dude, that's amazing, man. And so far, how's the uptake been?
We are the fastest growing internet provider in the world. We're going faster than Starlink in Kenya, to give you an idea.
And you recently raised quite a bit as well. I'm not sure if you can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll not share. The amount is not public, and we'll not share. But we had a good fundraise late last year. We got some very good partners from really all over the world.
And maybe that's another topic we can discuss. Sorry, I want to be aware because you have a flight as well.
Yeah, actually, my hard hour is 6:30.
It's 6:30 already, so
You're kidding me?
yeah, fuck man, time went, eh?
2 hours 10. That is the fastest, longest one we've done in a while.
That's because you're so fucking interesting, bro.
Whoa, 2 hours
It's okay.
10.
You can book
Yeah.
a flight tomorrow. We've got enough
By the way,
storage.
I'm back on Monday. We want to continue.
Yeah, so
this.
we can definitely do another.
Do I have to
part.
bring the same outfit?
No.
We can do another. We can
Episode 1, episode 2.
Yeah. How long are you here for next week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I leave Wednesday night to the US.
Oh, next week is going to be rough for you. Can
Yeah,
we
because
do something?
I'm back in university. So what we can do is, because it's 6:30 already, we could just summarize it by saying where people can essentially find you. What I wanted to talk about just briefly was if like raising capital and how you guys went about that. But that's a whole
That's a
very whole
big,
trajectory. So we can leave that for the second
Yeah.
conversation. So I mean,
which one people always ask us about too. So it's like,
yeah, so what we'll do is we'll put all your details in the description where people can find you. But if there's anything you want to shout out right now, bro, like just you can say it right now.
no, if you're an ISP and you're watching this,
Yeah.
absolutely get in touch with me. You can on
we
Instagram.
know we will
You
basically
pass the con.
what we'll do is I'll put Omar's LinkedIn
Yes.
here.
I
Can
said
I-
Instagram.
Can I put your email as or no we'll forget that. Actually, let
yeah.
people connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, send me a message on LinkedIn.
Send him a message on LinkedIn. He'll connect with you as well.
And if you're not an ISP, if I don't know where you now get upgraded to 100 MB, or you see ISP selling 100 MB for 2,000 bob, you now know
who's
you now know
responsible.
why. You now know why.
Awesome, bro. I can't believe 2 hours just went like that.
Whoa!
That was
I
just-
thought you were gonna say. I said 6:30, saying, "Poof, we're gonna
Yeah,
have
no,
so much time."
amazing. But we talked about a lot. We covered a lot. This is obviously one of multiple podcasts. I think the next time we'll look at the VC capital angle. That's something that's really
Yeah.
interested me. And hopefully by the time we get a studio, we'll get the boys as well to join in.
Absolutely, but that's one that we have to do
Yeah,
with Luis and Jose.
for sure.
That would be fun.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We do have the membership tier where this episode will be out live. It's fucking $1 a month. So for those of you guys giving me shit, Jesus, come on, capacity's become dead cheap.
Come on.
Membership is dead cheap. But we appreciate your support. If you watched up to this far and you haven't subscribed, fuck off. Love you guys.